rugby union now, and Max Ojoma and Noah Kalori will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ojoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalori, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents airily in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, they're now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wild cards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Khan says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Khan has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside 4-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ojoma and Noah Kalori will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ojoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalori, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents airily in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, they're now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now, we'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Carl says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with club media, Carl has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian and Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside 4-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour avant the Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match at the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents airily in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day 1 of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethel picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now, we'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Carl says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with club media, Carl has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian and Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside four-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert he suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wild cards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Carl says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Carl has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside four-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert he suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now, we'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Carl says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Carl has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside 4-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to Rugby Union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day 1 of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethel picked up 2 cheap wickets late on as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now, we'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Carl says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Carl has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his Team Visma alongside four-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who was spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Khan says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Khan has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, and midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his Team Visma alongside four-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who was spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Khan says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Khan has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside 4-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon Rhône Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day 1 of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethel picked up 2 cheap wickets late on as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Khan says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Khan has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times. Sticking in football, and Rangers and RB Salzburg have completed a deal for Danny Roll to join the Austrian Bundesliga outfit. The 37-year-old will depart despite insisting he was committed to the summer rebuild at the Ibrox club. Also in football, midfielder Bernardo Silva has joined Real Madrid on a 2-year deal, linking up with manager Jose Mourinho. Silva left Man City at the end of last season, bringing an end to a trophy-laden 9-year spell. Also in football, and Hull could face points deductions in the Premier League in the upcoming season. The Tigers have an overspend of about £6 million on their profit and sustainability calculation. Under the English Football League rules, that could lead to a 6-point penalty. Cycling now, and Belgium's Wout van Aert is set to miss next month's Tour de France with an elbow injury. The 31-year-old is a key rider for his team Visma alongside four-time Grand Tour winner Jonas Vingegaard. Van Aert suffered the injury after falling in training before last week's Tour Avon-Rhône-Alpes stage in France, and an infection developed in his elbow. Moving on to rugby union now, and Max Ujoma and Noah Kalouri will have the chance to press their case for test starts after being named in the England backline to take on a France 15 in a non-cap match in Van on Friday. Centre Ujoma scored a try and was named player of the match in the win over Argentina in November, but he's not played for his country since. 19-year-old Kalouri, who has spelled out his ambition to make his England debut this summer, topped the Prem Gallagher's season try-scoring charts and dominated opponents aerially in a sensational breakout season with Saracens. Cricket now, and day one of the second test of the Oval between New Zealand and England is finally poised after the opening day. New Zealand were put into bat after England won the toss, and they reached 291 for 7 at the close of play. Tom Blundell made the highest score of the day. He made 51. As for England, where their top bowler was Sonny Baker making his debut, he took 2 for 63, and Jacob Bethell picked up 2 cheap wickets late on, as he had figures of 2 for 8 from his 5 overs. Archer, Fisher and Tongue all took 1 wicket. And finally, now finishing with a couple of stories in tennis, and British number 5 Arthur Ferry has kept the home hopes alive at the Queen's Championships as he's moved into the quarter-finals after beating Adrian Manarino. The world number 140 has reached his first ATP Tour quarter-final with a 7-6, 6-4 victory over the veteran Frenchman. And finally in tennis, and British stalwart Dan Evans will have to go through qualifying to make the main draw of the men's singles at Wimbledon after missing out on a wild card. The 36-year-old, who announced last week that he would end his tennis career after the Grand Slam, had hoped to receive one of the 8 singles wildcards to guarantee an emotional final appearance at his home Grand Slam. However, the final remaining places were awarded to British pair Harry Wendelken and Felix Gill on Wednesday. That's for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm James Mason. We'll begin in football, and Fulham Vice Chair and Director of Football Operations Tony Khan says there are currently 2 standout candidates to replace Marco Silva, who have had several meetings with the board. It's understood the Cottagers have been advancing in talks with Alvaro Arbeloa, who spent the second half of last season in charge of Real Madrid. But in an interview with Club Media, Khan has suggested that there is no frontrunner for the job at this stage. However, he said that 2 candidates have met with the board several times.
Of New Zealand, the star men Tielemans, De Bruyne, Trossard, Doku all shone in that one. For Senegal, there's a few changes. Still no Koulibaly, but Pathé Ciss is preferred to Abdoulaye Seck. Pape Gueye is in after a stunning double off the bench versus Iraq and that 5-0 win. Lamine Camara make. And a very warm welcome to this round of 32 clash between Belgium and Senegal, an official off-tube studio commentary. It's myself, Charlie O'Brien and Lewis Raftery to take you through this one. Both sides took until the final game to register their first win of the group stages, but nonetheless both teams made it through. Belgium topping the group unbeaten, and Senegal scraping through as the 8th best third place team. Belgium currently sit 9th in the world ranking, Senegal 15th, so it's a pretty heavyweight clash all things considered. Both played their last game in Canada. This one's in Seattle tonight. Local weather is around 17 degrees. And the winner will face the USA or Bosnia-Herzegovina, which we will bring you on this service straight after this. It's myself and Lewis on that game as well. And Lewis, what are you thinking about this one?
As you say, 2 big teams going at each other. I felt for Senegal, they had a rock-solid group, didn't they, in the group stages, it has to be said. And I know they lost to France, but I thought they were absolutely superb against them. Belgium underwhelming, but against New Zealand, they should have beat them handfully, and they did. So they got the job done in the right ways. That'll take some confidence, won't it, into this game. That underwhelming in the other 2 games, against Egypt and Iran, I believe it was, but you know the goals came in bunches against New Zealand. So that'll take confidence, but again, very similar to most of these games. Look, they might start a little bit slow, almost like a boxing match. These knockout games are. They're throwing a jab here and there. I'm expecting it to open up, though. Both of these sides have quality, and as you said, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yep, Senegal started on the front foot, but it's back with Thibaut Courtois and the Belgium net playing it forwards. I'll bring you team news in just a moment, see how this Belgium attack develops. They've played it back, so I'll rattle through it now. Belgium unchanged, unsurprisingly, from that 5-1 win against New Zealand. As they come forward here with Jeremy Doku into the box for the first time. He goes down. He's not complaining though. I think he was just out-muscled there. Senegal will get it away. It's cut out half by Tielemans. And Mane curling a ball around the corner to Diarra. He finds Iliman Ndiaye, one of the 3 substitutes, which changes, sorry, that I'll bring you in just a moment. It's back with Diatta. Finds Pape Gueye, another man brought in for this game. And Senegal just pushing back towards their own goal now. So quickly, yeah, Belgium unchanged, unsurprisingly, from that New Zealand win. I thought that the usual suspects were very impressive in that game. We're talking Doku, Trossard, De Bruyne and Tielemans, all fantastic. And for Senegal, there's still no Koulibaly, which is surprising, but Pathé Ciss preferred to Abdoulaye Seck at centre-back. Pape Gueye is in after his fantastic double against Iraq, just 2 of the best goals you could ever hope to see. And Everton's Iliman Ndiaye features at right wing in favour of Ibrahim Mbaye. So the Belgium lineup: Courtois, Castagne, Mekele, Tiate, De Kuyper, Tielemans, Van Aken, De Bruyne, Trossard, Doku and De Ketelaere up front. And for Senegal, it's a 4-3-3 with Dior, Diatta, Ciss, Niakite, Jacobs, Diarra, Idrissa Gueye, Pape Gueye, and a front 3 of Iliman Ndiaye, Ismaila Sarr and Sadio Mane. So 3 changes for Senegal. Does that surprise you, Lewis, after a 5-0 win?
A little bit and a little bit not, trying to maybe go into this game. As you said, with Belgium, you don't want to. You've got the confidence, haven't you, as you say, and they were very strong against New Zealand anyway, so you wouldn't change that at all. Senegal, actually, Koulibaly is still a bit of a, at least on paper, a bit of a miss, isn't he? And not the centre-back we were maybe expecting, if you will. But I like Ndiaye playing. I mean, he's going forward now, tries to pick out a pass. I like that. The changes made, I do like, so I don't knock them at all. It keeps fresh legs as well, ticking over. Of course, I do think they've got then obviously some decent options off the bench, which is sometimes more important than others, if you will, in this knockout stage. But at the moment, you would say Belgium just in for a second, holding a really high line, and they tried to get him behind 2 times. The pass is just a little bit overhit, but Ndiaye, I think he's better off the left-hand side personally, but you're not going to take Mane out with this side. He just runs at everyone. He's direct. He's fantastic to watch, and I'm surprised. This is no offence to Everton, great club. I'm surprised a higher club hasn't come in for him, because he's fantastic to watch. Belgium, it'll all run through De Bruyne. Doku's great, yes, but De Bruyne plays well. Belgium play well.
Yeah, Trossard was outstanding in that last game as well, with a couple of goals for the Premier League champions. But it's Senegal that have enjoyed probably just the better of these opening 5 minutes. And Koulibaly, just to clarify, he's not injured. He's just been dropped after a couple of shaky performances to start off the tournament. As Belgium come forward, that's a nice ball from De Bruyne, played through. And what you just said, Lewis, almost came true instantly. It was a clever little reverse pass from De Bruyne, and Trossard managed to get the cross in. Yeah,
Trossard as well, as I said about Ndiaye, I think Trossard's a bit better off the left. Unfortunately, you have a better player on the left that's better off there in Doku, but Trossard, he just finds his right players right time, isn't he, for the Gunners forward. He just gets goals, he gets in right. He's got a great strike in him. He's an attacking midfielder who scores goals, and long throwing coming in for Belgium.
Yep, Timothy Castagne, the Fulham man, is the one to deliver it, and De Ketelaere sort of ducked under it. I think he maybe thought someone behind him would be in a better position, but it was cleared away by Senegal. As back towards his own goal goes the left back for Belgium. De Kuyper finds Courtois with no worry at all. It's an interesting change kit that Belgium have gone with today. It's sort of blue, pink with spheres in 3D on them, but I quite like it. Senegal in all green, pretty traditional but always lovely, as many of the African kits that we see in these World Cups are. That's a fizzing ball played forward to Mane, who gets some pressure from Tielemans and draws the foul. And it's a free kick to Senegal. What have you made of the opening 6 minutes?
Tense, definitely for sure. Isn't it? And I mean, here at Tielemans for a foul, he could have had anything on that. He always does a bit of bite, and he doesn't. He, the Aston Villa man. He's one of the players when he's sitting low and defending can be a liability. My word though, on the transition on the ball, his striking ability of the ball, whether that's passing or shooting, is next level. I just think sometimes with Belgium, and yeah, they put 5 past New Zealand, so you can agree with this or not. I actually am a bit on the fence of it. I just think De Ketelaere, great player. I just think as a striker, you're almost playing two attacking midfielders with him and De Bruyne. And look, when it works, I think it works really well. It's that almost false nine, isn't it? How many teams do you see play? Cunha played it for Brazil, didn't he? And it works. It works so well, for example, and then it doesn't. It's just, it works. There's no in between with that. I know Lukaku's had his injuries, and De Ketelaere quite clearly, because of fitness, maybe preferred, I don't know. I just think they're lacking that presence. And Lukaku, 90 plus goals for his country. You'd want that presence up there a bit more. But saying that, that's a great option to bring off the bench. That's the one thing I think they're missing when you look at Senegal. Ismail Assar, he's not a striker, but he makes those striker runs. So yeah, at the moment, as you say, 8 minutes on the clock, no real chances or anything. But whenever a Doku gets on the ball, whenever Ndiaye, De Bruyne, and Mane gets on the ball, the game just for that few seconds comes to life. Mistake there, Trossard picks it up.
Giving away, and one of the people we're talking about, Trossard, has space to run into. He sneaks a pass through to Van Aken, comes out to De Ketelaere, who's taken up a position on the right hand side, cuts in. He should have got a shot away a little bit earlier there, but he manages to nab it back. That's good forward play. Pulls back to the edge of the area, and the shot comes in from Leandro Trossard. Probably the most promising move so far for Belgium.
You're right. I mean, what an overlapping run that was on the right side for Castagna. De Ketelaere took that touch inside, and that's why when you have these inverted wingers, as everyone knows, you need overlapping or underlapping fullbacks. He took a touch, and both of the Senegal defenders went with the wing back. I don't blame him, because usually that pass will be played. And De Ketelaere took that touch, and I think he kind of for a second froze, is the best word I can say, because he didn't expect that much space, and then he took another touch, and a defensive midfielder came back and won it off him. He should have took that touch and gone for the strike, because he had so much space there to do what he usually does. He's got a great left foot on him. He's very two-footed as well. He's the former AC Milan man, but that was a great overlapping run. Great chance. Trossard, I don't blame him, tests the goalkeeper early. We spoke before the game, of course. Coming in is Diao for Mendy. I know he's already played a few games, if you will, because of the injury, but Mendy, we know everyone knows what he's all about. The Le Havre goalkeeper Diao, we don't know. Have a pop at goal, don't mind that.
Yeah, as Senegal tried to play forward, but ball went straight out of play on the right hand side when Diatta was chasing. Belgium from the restart coming forward with Jeremy Doku. You're absolutely right to highlight De Ketelaere as not necessarily a problem, but an area of interest forward. Myself and Nathan Wastel. The cross comes in from De Bruyne and it's cleared away by Senegal. Yeah, myself and Nathan, we were saying similar things, and we covered that last Belgian game, and it felt like when the game was there to be won and it was all a bit tense, he was really out of it. But then once it opened up and New Zealand, in all honesty, started to lose the plot a little bit, he really grew into the game, and you could see the ways that he could link the play. But I think when the game was tight and tense, he just couldn't have that much of an impact.
No, and I don't blame him. He's a younger player. I also think, and again, you are not going to move Kevin De Bruyne. You almost put him in that number 10. Everyone else just works around him, right? De Ketelaere in that 10, that is his best position. Again, I feel if De Bruyne was injured or De Bruyne was rested or you took him off, I wouldn't. If you took him off and brought Lukaku on and brought De Ketelaere further down, I would be quite happy with that. I just think De Ketelaere up top, you're spot on. In those tense moments, he struggles to find his way into the game. When it's open, I think he's fantastic. Here comes Senegal.
Diarra spreads it out to Ndiaye, and that's a good cross in. Two Belgian players were the first to it, but it was a bit of a nervy attempted header away from Diatta. He did well to just get a tiny nick on it out for a Senegal throw, and that could have very easily been an own goal poked in by either him or his partner Mekele. Ball is with Jacobs on the far touchline. It's another long throw in, headed away this time a lot more comfortably by the Belgian centre-back Mekele. Trossard with a lovely first touch brings it down. He's under a lot of pressure, manages to work it to Tielemans, who plays back to Courtois and just puts his laces through it. No nonsense there from the veteran Real Madrid goalkeeper. The bouncing ball was eventually brought under control by Van Aken, who plays a 1-2 with Trossard. And an inside pass to Tielemans, but that's a poor first touch from Yuri Tielemans, and he's given the ball away and relieves that little bit of pressure for Senegal. Centre-back partnership for Belgium is one that is probably not as star-studded as ones we remember. Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Company and the like, but it's Tiate, the Frankfurt man, 26-year-old, and Mekele, he's a veteran, plays in the Belgian league with Club Bruges, so there's certainly bags of experience between the pair, even if they're probably not the household names of the past. And that's a story really of the whole Belgian team, save for 4 or 5 superstars. It's a lot more people that you might not have heard of, but here come Senegal as Mane gets the ball away and it's hit the post. Has he managed to squeeze it in? No, what happened there? Mane managed to get the ball out to the left-hand sides where Jacobs was overlapping. It was a really good ball into the back post. Ismaila Sarr just not quite able to get the first contact on it that he wanted, but then it still managed to go off the bench and Sarr kind of spread on the floor, had the second dig. It was actually Courtois' intervention that put it into the path of Ismaila Sarr. And then on the ground, after his initial effort hit the post, he couldn't quite just turn his body around to scoop it in. It's almost John Terry, Phil Jones like rolling along the floor trying to get any contact on it, but Belgium get away with that one.
Oh, it's Courtois gets away with one, as you say right there. He comes out to meet it, and then as he comes out, watching the back, actually, that's a great angle. It takes the deflection off the Belgium defender, Castagna. But what Courtois comes to do, he comes to with his palm, but he just puts it back up in the air, and as you say, tees it up for Ismaila Sarr. Fortunately for Courtois, he's not in a body position to hit it, so it just kind of hits a shot, but it bobbles off his right boot, and then when it falls on the floor, you see, he's just squirming to get his right leg out, and he just get anything on it, it's a side netting. They get away with one there, but here comes Senegal.
Yeah, it's Papgate, brought in for this game. Tries the first time cross, but Trossard gets the block in. It's still with Papgate, who plays a 1-2 with his namesake Adrissagay. Tries again the first time ball in, and once more Trossard is equal to it, and Catelari back doing his defensive work, shepherds it out for a throw-in for Senegal. Jacobs to take quickly back into the centre of the park with Sis, one of the 3 substitutes made. Of course, as we've already mentioned, notably favoured ahead of Koulibaly, the Senegalese and Napoli legend. Diatta is making a bit of a mess of that. He ends up on the floor, still trying to make a pass, and he's unable to do so. Jeremy Doku comes away with the ball. He's jiving in that deep central midfield position, and eventually lays it off and gets it back to his centre-backs. So, somewhat surprisingly, Senegal bossing the possession stats so far in this one. We know it's something that Belgium like to do, is control the ball, but they've had just a third of it so far in this opening 15 minutes, and it has already been 15 minutes, flowed by, despite the fact that there's been only 1 or 2 real incidents. XG for Senegal is already up at 0.98, indicating that they really think that Ismaila Sarr should have been able to sneak that one in after Courtois' mistake. The ball's cut out again, and that's a good early ball through to Sarr, whose pace nearly gets him there against the odds, but it's just shepherded out by Tiate. He just sort of tamely kicks it out for a throw, and probably indicative of the level of pressure that Senegal are putting Belgium under here.
They really are, and not that Belgium, I think it was unfortunately for Senegal, with the Sarr opportunity just didn't fall kindly for him, did it? If that falls kinder for him, especially the first shot, he's in the back of the net, it's tapping, isn't it? I do think they're struggling defensively, they're just with the pace and the directness with Senegal. They want the ball, they're knocking it around with the 3 midfielders and the 2 defenders, but my word, again, another cross ball out to Mane. Every time they can get it to one of the wingers or into Sarr's feet, they're going to do that, they're going to come forward. It's really positive to see. And I think, like most people, they've probably seen Belgium, well, you rightfully pointed out that in the last, 10, 15 years, you had to drop one of the 4 of Company, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and probably put Vermaelen in there as well. Now, you would adore one of them in this back line, because the quality isn't there. As you said, it's that golden generation, and it's just not... You're in that middle stage, aren't you? Waiting for the next generation to come through, and you've got some of the latter ones there of De Bruyne and Lukaku, for example. And great first touch, he's coming forward. Belgium was struggling early on.
Yeah, brilliant work from Njai. Shrugged off a couple of Belgium defenders there. Of course, how could I forget Thomas Vermaelen, He's a Belgian legend. Seemed to survive so much longer in that team than you might have expected with his injury record. The cross comes in from Senegal at the edge of the box. Idrissa Gueye, you could see that coming from a mile off. His last 3 or 4 steps towards the ball, he wanted to hit that, well, harder than Pat Gueye hit his volley in the last game. But I have to say, it actually wasn't awful technique. I've seen so many attempted volleys in this tournament fly over the bar, but he knew what he was doing there, Gueye.
Yeah, we're playing in Seattle. That could have ended up on the streets of Seattle. But here comes De Bruyne. His shot is well wide. I think he had 7 shots as a whole against New Zealand. He's averaging 5 at the tournament shots as a whole, so that's his first shot. Again, it's to a degree, it's De Bruyne, isn't it? Let him do what he wants. He's well over the bar, but it's De Bruyne. You're not going to have a go at him for doing that. But going back to Idrissa Gueye shot, as you say, it's one of them. You could, as soon as the header came away, his head was going, I'm shooting here. And I think what he just did, it was safe, but the best way, because as you said, we've seen so many fly over the bar. It was almost easy for, if I can just hit it low, hard, on target, get a shot on target, test Courtois, and go from there, kind of thing. That's the best thing. He tested the goalkeeper. Again, though, I really like how Senegal are playing so far. They're really positive. Those 3 midfielders, they're getting forward. The wingers are getting forward. Good start, but Belgium, we do know when they come forward, the quality they have, of course.
Yeah, Belgium resorting to pot shots so far, though. Kevin De Bruyne, his World Cup record is not really as sparkling as you might expect. 3 goals and 4 assists from 16 appearances. It's nothing to be sniffed at, but the numbers that we know he can churn out in domestic football, we haven't quite seen that on the biggest stage. It's Senegal, as Lewis says, having all of the joy so far, and that's a lovely swept pass, played with real confidence out to the right hand side by Sadio Mane towards the right back. Diatta, he tries the cross and it's deflected away for a corner off to Kuiper, and Senegal's strong start to this game continues.
Really good play. Again, they're getting wide out. It's almost the 3 midfielders Senegal will get forward, but they're more sitters, all 3. The fullbacks, wing-backs, whatever you like to look at them, they get really high and wide. So do the wingers. The winger on the other side gets into the box, and now you've got Sis coming forward near Cartier as well. This is dangerous from a corner.
Yeah, it's a deep corner swung into the back post, but unable to trouble Belgium, and Doku comes away with the ball. He's so quick on the ball. He's got Kevin De Bruyne overlapping on the left-hand side, and he spreads it out to him, and that was, you see what he was going for there, De Bruyne, because De Kuiper, the left-back, had made a run 80 yards down the right flank, and De Bruyne just tried to find him, but was unable to do so. And now the flag's gone up for a offside against Sadio Mane. He's now hugging the ball, refusing to let go, which has annoyed Mukele. And he's having a little bit of an argument with the referee, who, by the way, is Said Martinez from Honduras this evening. Belgium get us back underway. Just ticking up to 20 minutes played so far for this round of 32 game. Just a reminder that the winner will play either host USA or Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is the next game. Senegal, even though they've lost 2 of their opening 3, are actually doing much better than Belgium in terms of goals scored, 8-6 so far, although Belgium have had a much more watertight defence, conceding just the 2 in their opening 3 games compared to 6 from Senegal. But as Lewis already touched on, they were in the group of death, really. That's a nice ball played over to Castagna. He manages to hook it back well into the area, but it's a little bit too high for the diminutive Trossard, and the ball is cleared. And I think Senegal are asking for a free kick, and they've won one. It's Yuri Tielemans again with the foul. He's had a tough start to this game, I think it's fair to say. Yeah,
he's not been able to keep up with the pace of the game, has he? Just gets in the way of Diarra there, does Tielemans. And I think the problem Tielemans has, he's got to be a little bit more, if you will, coy about it, a little bit more sly about how he does that, because he puts his back into him, but he kind of looks at him, so he has that look. If you do that but keep your eyes on the ball, you can kind of say to the referee, I was looking at the ball, I was trying to turn my body. Whereas what it does there is the referee can instantly see, no, you know where the man is, you're trying to block him off. And it was a counter-attack as well, and I don't think it's a yellow card, but it's his second foul. I'm not always a fan of the accumulation being a yellow card, But Diarra would have been away, and it would have been a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Not that open, but it would have been an opportunity to get in the Belgium half. But at the moment, like most of the Belgian players, apart from De Bruyne, because whenever he gets on the ball, he lives up to the potential. You've already spoke about Docker, how pacey he is. That'll be a trouble when he does get going. Belgium still struggling to get into the game. Senegal opening first quarter, if you will, being much the better.
It's another really nice long ball played from the Senegal back line by Sis. It finds Iliman Ndiaye, who lays it off to Idrissa Gueye in the middle of the park. He spreads it out to Jacobs on the left hand side. Sadio Mane leaves the ball behind him there. Slightly careless touch from the ex-Liverpool man, and he's looking to take on Timothy Castagne, and he's losing that battle so far. But Castagne, has he run that out for a corner? The referee says no, but he has kicked it straight to Idrissa Gueye, who, like he always is popping up everywhere in that midfield. Pap Gueye is on the ball, about 35 yards from goal, centre right. Finds his centre back Sis. Exchange passes with Niakate. That's a really nice dribbling from Sis there. He beats two players, lays it out to Diarra. It's it back to Pap Gueye. He takes a good touch and swings it into the back post. No one there to meet it for Senegal, but Sadio Mane stops it going out for a goal kick and then wins a throw-in for his side, which I would hasten to guess is probably going to be sent in long.
You'd think so from Jay. Oh, he takes it on back to the centre-back. But you're right, Sis there, my word, like an extra midfielder coming forward there.
Yeah, I mean, it was long, to be fair, but he just, instead of throwing it into the box, he just threw it right back to his defenders, which are about 20-30 yards from him. Not to be sniffed at, although I guess you could deliver it a little bit flatter and probably easier than your conventional long throw. Belgium, by the way, still kind of transfixed by this kit, so I just quickly googled it. Apparently it's inspired by the Surrealist movement and the iconic painter René Magritte, and it's based off a couple of his famous pieces. Belgian painter, of course, but so far there's been absolutely no art out there from a Belgian perspective. They've just been pinned back inside their own half, and it continues with Sis, who's just been on that mazy run. This time he plays the ball, and that's a lovely pass around the corner from Diarra. They're really flowing now, Senegal. It's Diatta who takes over, finds Diarra again. Idrissa Gueye finds Pap Gueye. It's Iliman Ndiaye actually, who's sort of dropped into a central position. Sadio Mane moves it onto his right foot, swings the ball in, and they've hit the post again, but the rebound is followed in. It's Diarra with the goal. You have to say Senegal deserve it with 24 minutes on the clock. They've been utterly dominant. It was really nice play there. I think 7 or 8 players had a touch of the ball in the build-up. Sadio Mane wound up to cross into the back post, did just that. It was a devilish delivery. The header came in, could only hit the post. I think it was maybe Ismaila Sarr again that hit the post, but it didn't matter because the Sunderland man, Habib Diarra, was there to follow in, and Senegal take the lead.
What a ball that is in from Mane. But again, it's the movement from right to left, isn't it? How quick they are. It's 1 or 2 passes and it goes all the way from the right to the left. Mane, great underlapping run I should say, from Jacobs. It's a great ball in. As you said, I'm trying to see what it is. I think it is Sarr, as you rightfully said, Charlie, with the header. It's a great header. It gets in between the two centre-backs. It's poor defending. Courtois, not what he can do about both, because it's off the post and then there's no one tracking the run of Diarra. The only question would be, he's well onside. That would be your only question, wouldn't it, when everyone's looking. He's the first one to follow in, and a central midfielder, that's instincts of a striker, isn't it, there to get in on the rebound. That's poacher-like, and you can see what it means. I always love to say that when the manager's on the sidelines doing the header, just the movement of it. Senegal have been the better side. You said it. They deserve this lead. Belgium have been nowhere near what we expect of them. Look, I can assume maybe a hydration break might be about to come. No, we're going to kick off. I don't know why the hydration break will come, because it will just be in pure seconds. I just hope from Senegal, as the ball's gone out of play, I thought it was going to happen there, I just hope they keep this up and don't just sit back in a block and let Belgium attack, because look, Kevin De Bruyne, Tielemans, they'll unlock you. They've took it to Belgium. They deserve that. They've been fantastic.
Yeah, we haven't, as Lewis said, got the hydration break yet for whatever reason, so Castagne attempts a long throw into the Senegal area. It's dealt with, but back out to Castagne, who loops the ball into the back post, but the goalkeeper Dior is comfortably under that one. Of course, not first choice for Senegal, but he's been in ever since that Edouard Mendy injury in the group stage. Still no hydration break. Well, to be fair, the ball didn't go out of play on that occasion, so Senegal have a chance to add to their lead. It's with Jacobs on the left-hand side. Back in to Pap Gay, moving back into his carded left centre mid position after a lot of fluid movement between him, Gay, Ismail Assar and Njai and a couple of others in the last 10 minutes. They've really been playing some sumptuous football. They look to be oozing with confidence. They don't look like a team that only won one of their group games, but I guess you could say they do look like a team that just won 5-0. And there we are into the hydration break. So it is Belgium 0, Senegal 1. So well on our way to, I think, what would be completely unfair to call a shock, really. It is Belgium 9th in the world rankings, as I said, Senegal 15th. So if you're going by the rankings, it's a bit of a surprise. But obviously, depending on who you ask, Senegal are the AFCON champions, and they're definitely playing like it right now.
They're so confident that, and you're right. As you rightfully said, there's not many because of how the new tournament is. More teams. There's not that quote-unquote old school group of deaf, is there? But I think the Senegal, what they got with France and co, it's as close as you're going to get realistically, isn't it, to a group of deaf in the modern tournament. And I just thought they were really unlucky to get that, and as it took them to the third match day, I should say, well, game week, same kind of thing, to pick up all 3 points. But they're super impressive. They were super impressive against France. I like how they play. I like this 4-3-3 that they play. I always think that, again, in tournament football, what you've got to do is just get the best out of the players you've got. For example, Kevin De Bruyne for Belgium, get the best out of him. What is Senegal doing? Getting the best out of Sadio Mane, getting the best out of a Diarra. You've got 3 midfielders who've got legs and are great footballers. Use them. You've got good overlapping fullbacks. Use them. Sarr, is he an out-and-out striker? No, but he can play there to a top level with that header. Quite clearly, you can see he can do that. And at the moment, it's one of them, isn't it? Would it be a shock if Senegal go through? I think it would be a shock because Belgium were favourites, but I don't think it would be that. It wouldn't be that Paraguay level. Would it be nowhere near that? It'd just be, oh, okay, didn't see that one coming. Maybe they should have been a lot of people's dark horses, if you will, at the start of the tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned Sarr there, and I wanted to ask you about him specifically because we talked about De Ketelaere probably not having that striker's presence up there for Belgium, and Sarr, as you say, he's not an out-and-out striker, but he's hit the post twice, and he hasn't really done much other than just, poach that area. So unlike De Ketelaere dropping really deep, he is actually playing as a striker, and you can really tell the difference in the presence in the box for both teams.
100%. Sarr would love to play where Ndiaye is, wouldn't he? On the right-hand side, coming in, being able to take on his man, put balls into the box, get on the end of some crosses. That is more his game. We've seen him at Palace as that number 10 winger under Glasner and co. That's what he would rather play, but he almost goes, no, my team want me to play like this, I'm going to play that role. Sometimes I don't understand where there's a difference between getting the best out of the player and putting them in a bad position and saying to a player, look, I know it's not your favourite thing to do, but you can succeed at this, you can play well at this. We need for the betterment of the team, can you play as a traditional number 9? Can you, if you do drop deep, make that run back into the box? So De Ketelaere, I know you want to drop deep, but De Bruyne's going to drop deep, so don't get any spaces. If anything, go wide so the runners can go in behind. And you're right, there's no presence up there. At this point, you'd rather have a 50%, 60% Lukaku, who will be a presence up there, then we know the potential, how great De Ketelaere is, but you'd rather have Lukaku at half fit than De Ketelaere because you know what he brings in the presence in the box.
A couple of Belgians there got more hydration than they were hoping for in the hydration break, as Rudy Garcia and Kevin De Bruyne got sprayed by one of the sprinklers, but we are back underway post-hydration break, so I'll hand you back over for the second quarter to Lewis Raftery.
Thank you very much. Yeah, second quarter. We're on the way to half-time, aren't we, basically, guys? Just over half an hour in, as Charlie said, back underway, and Belgium are on the board. If anything, statistically, I do believe that it is Senegal. I will just double check. I want to say they've had more of the ball. Yeah, 65% possession for Senegal, and it's not been slow, has it? It's been a good tempo. Yes, they've had it at the back with the centre-backs, but that's been, as you're watching how Rudy Garcia asking for a few towels. Might have a change of suit at half-time, but not because of the weather, because someone's messed with the sprinklers. Might be someone of Senegalese descent on the sprinklers. You know what, I'm going to mess with him. Mess with the boss. There is a positive play, I do say that, because the left-back, De Kuyper, has the ball on the field of play. The referee's picked it up. I believe something may have happened in the stands. I don't want to say it has. I'm not 100% sure. As Charlie already said earlier, it's unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary. 31.5 minutes in here in Seattle, Lumen Field, however you like to call it, the home of the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Round of 32 action. Belgium 0, Senegal 1. The referee's picked the ball up, he will drop the ball, and we are back on the way. So I'm not 100% sure what that was. The ball was back on the way from hydration break, 30 seconds if that, out to the Kuyper. Referee stopped the game, but we are back underway. So trying to find a bit of fluidity to it. Looking at the stats, 2 attempts, 1 on target for Belgium, 5 shots for Senegal, 2 on target, and realistically, 5 out of the 5 and 2 on target, well, the 3 off target, 2 of them were off the post, so you have to say they were very, very good chances as well. They're both by Sarr, so he's had 3 shots, 2 off of the post and 1 that went wide. Doku getting past his man. Is that a foul by Niakite? Believe it is. Well, the referee's give that, or he's give a dive for Doku, but well, I believe he's given nothing, and if I'm perfectly honest, it either is he's been taken out or he's gone flying on his own accord. Diakite, it is simulation. Doku jumps up in the air. He doesn't get tagged at all, if you will, and the referee saying to him, get up there. To me, if Diakite comes away with the ball, there's nothing wrong with it. He's won the ball, even if he does catch Doku. Doku goes down there, he jumps, he's off his feet. That's a dive simulation, whatever you like to call it. For me, that's where the referee has to give Doku a yellow card.
Yeah, I think so. We saw it earlier with Harry Kane and that penalty. You know, he didn't go over, but he went over, didn't get the penalty. The DR Congo players were pleading with the referee, saying, well, it's a dive if it's not. I think in that case with Kane, you know, there was a bit of contact, but probably not enough for a penalty, so I understand that a bit more. But, you know, when it's more cut and dry than that, we've had this conversation till we're red in the face so many times over the years as football fans, but what is the point in that rule being there if it's not going to be used? Because then it's at least part of the reason why we have such rampant diving problems in our game.
No, you're right. I did call the England-Congo game, and as it happened, again, unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary, we don't hear what the referee's saying, whistles here, there, and everywhere. The referee actually simulated a dive. So, I'm sure many people might have seen the meme that will go viral of Mbemba with the yellow card to the referee. He's right. If the referee thinks it's simulation, it's a yellow card, but to then look at VAR to see if it's a penalty and then not, I was very confused. And as Charlotte said, I think it's just something you need to stamp down upon, and because once you do it again, no one's gonna do it again. I know no one's a fan of hydration breaks. They've come in. Well, no one starts stopping the game now. No keepers go down because they get the stops halfway through, so the players get what they want. Belgium do have a throw in here on the right hand side. He's standing trying to overlap Doku. Looks like Doku and Trossard are on the opposite side now. Doku starting on the left, Trossard on the right. Swap them. The Gunners winger on the left, the Manchester City man on the right. Speaking of Doku, he's on the ball into De Bruyne, tries to poke it back to Doku. And it will be cleared away by Senegal. Into Mane, looks to dink it off of Tielemans, trying to do that just to win a throw-in, but Tielemans, the man with the Belgium armband on, does well to just flick his right boot up, goes up in the air. Lovely first and second touch, and comes away with the ball. Just over 10 minutes to go until half-time. Of course, it was quite a late hydration break, if you will, compared to usual. Another goal came maybe the 24th minute give or take, but it was a late one by usual standards. But obviously it just means we've got 10 minutes to go, call it 13 or call it 14. Belgium struggling, they're trying to play out from the back, they're not trying to play at all, but they are struggling with a decent press on from Senegal. They're not really bothered when the defenders have the ball, but my word, when it gets into Tielemans, when it gets into De Bruyne, there's 3 or 4 players on him. Fiat looks to go along to the left-hand side to Trossard. He's on a battle for a header, but he tries to nod it down to the on-running Vanaken, but he loses the ball. Now flying forward here, Senegal. Could they grab a second, go 2-0 up against Belgium? Onto the left-hand side to Mane. Cuts back in. He's got support to his right in Njai. Papagueye swings it to the left-hand side. It's a little bit under-hit for Jacobs, but it finds its way into his feet. Idrissa Gana is going to come forward. You know, he wanted to go for that shot once again. He's taken down, and he's still down. It's not foul, maybe took a bit of a hit, but well, it was a good tackle there from the Belgian midfielder. 1-2, Mane into the penalty area, goes for a strike at goal, stretching to get it, gets it off, and it's on target, straight at Courtois though. But once again, Senegal, that 1-2 touch, when they get it going, they're playing some great stuff. Unfortunately, that second touch from Mane, a little bit heavy, took it away from him. Castagna putting him under a bit of pressure, straight at Courtois, but lovely build-up.
Yeah, I actually think he's been far from Senegal's best player, Mane, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just testament to how well so many people are playing up there, and it's a good thing for a side, really, if your talisman, you know, is only probably just about cracking the top 5 performances in the game, because they're all 6 of them up there are just playing brilliant football.
Yeah, whether it's that front three, that midfield three, you couldn't say anyone's playing a bad game in a Senegal, a green jersey. Right hand side, is that last off the full back? Yes, it is Trossard, but well, they both want the throw-in, of course, too, but it will be a throw-in for Belgium just inside their own half on the left hand side. Goes quickly into Menchelet, and as we've already spoken about the centre back options, that's where they are a little bit weak. De Kuiper at left back, Castagna at right back. I really think he's a great player. De Kuiper, is he a winger? I'm not sure. Is he a fullback? I don't know. The Brighton man, he's played in a lot of positions, and he's still a young player, so he's trying to find what his best position is. Playing for his country, more of a fullback. Into the feet of De Bruyne. Quickly out to Doku, banning back into De Bruyne. As soon as De Bruyne takes a touch, he's got no room. No wiggle room at all. Doku, 2 men on him. He needs an overlap. He needs some help. No, he doesn't actually. Fizzes one into the box, looking for De Bruyne. Nearly rolled to the edge of the area, where it nearly fell kindly for De Kuiper to keep that attack alive. Trossard pokes it forward. The long legs of Papagay, and he wins a free kick as well. Foul by Trossard. He's not happy. It's one of them, isn't it? Ghana, he knows what he's doing there, Papagay. Gets his body in the way. It's just that bit of a nibble by Trossard, of a little bit of the clip of the heels. He's always going to go down. It's clever from Papagay. And once again, it's almost a bit, well, it's frustration as well for Belgium, but it's frustrating because they had momentum. They were penning Senegal back, and as soon as you start to get a bit of pressure and momentum, well, now Senegal have the ball back. Yeah,
I mean, he's clutching his sort of quad as if he'd pulled up a muscle, so not entirely sure if that sort of tracks with the level of contact he got, but yeah, Senegal just playing so well. All the nous, and they're just staying so calm. We saw their manager Pape Thiaw on the touchline after the hydration break, just doing the universal symbol to just keep things calm, and they're doing exactly that. It's been a nice, refreshing change, really, because you know we've had some brilliant storylines and late drama in the round of 32 so far, but a lot of the games have really taken a long time to spark into life, and both teams have been cagey or a little bit worried to go forwards, whereas Senegal are just playing proper football here. I do hope that we still get a contest. Belgium far from out of it, and they'll surely grow into the game as they did do against New Zealand, but it's nice to see someone other than France really take a game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We understand teams are going to be a little bit conservative sometimes, but it's just nice when a team does come out and go, you know what, we're going to play our football, we're confident in what we do, and let's see what the other team does. Belgium, they have to respond to Senegal. Ball's whipped into the area, keeper comes out to claim it, and apart from when we mentioned the outcoming in for Mendy, we've not mentioned the goalkeeper at all. When we look at the Belgium shots, there was one on target. That was from Trossard in the opening 5 minutes, which was kind of straight at him. It was a shot just outside the area. The other shot was De Bruyne that went into Rose. He's caught that ball there. He's had nothing to do, has Diao. So it doesn't matter who's in goal. That's no offence to Diao. Just doesn't matter. Belgium haven't tested him realistically at all. Part of that shot on target from Trossard, which of course you'd expect any professional goalkeeper, would expect an amateur goalkeeper to save. It was straight at him, but Belgium, they have to get into it. It's what I like about Senegal. They've almost gone, you know what, we're not going to sit back in this low block, but we're just going to take the intensity out of it and let Belgium play, because on the counter we know what we can do. But as you say, I would 100% agree with you. They're up there with France as in we're just going to play our football and go with it, if you will. They're not high pressing, but they're pressing with intent. That's a nice pass through though. Belgian ball cut back to the edge of the area. It's not a great ball. The area he puts it into isn't bad. If anything, I would look at the Belgian attack and go, why is there no one on the penalty? You want someone at the front post, back post, penalty spot. It's not a great ball pulled in back from Vanaken, but also, why is there no one in that position?
Well, it just goes back to what we were saying about there not being a striker on the pitch. Of course, De Bruyne and De Ketelaere, they're both tall players, so in theory they could, win a header, and De Bruyne is actually a pretty good header of the ball, but it's more about that knowledge of positioning, being in the right area, that someone like a Lukaku, even in his more sort of limited older state, would still have the nous and the experience to know exactly where to stand in that situation.
If I'm honest, I think you're right. I can just imagine seeing number 9 on the back of a jersey and Lukaku on the penalty spot and just putting that in the back of the net. If I'm honest, there's a foul being given as Belgium are going forward. I believe it's on Ismail Sis, the centre back. I know this near Ketia was down, but Sis might have been involved as well. So it's a foul on one of the centre backs. Watching it back, it was just a ball up for the header. De Kuyper's there. De Kuyper and Sis. Apologies. It's De Kuyper and Ketia who go up for the ball. Near Ketia, he's not pushed by De Kuyper, but he almost, as he's going down, collides with Sis. So it's the two centre backs who actually take each other out more than anything. We're seeing pictures of the Belgian fans, and again, I know the second half, how many times you see a first half and a second half change completely. You get a half time and things change. We're seeing Lukaku warm up, and the benches can come on. For England, it was the substitutions. Gordon got 2 assists. He's a squad game in tournaments like this. But look at those Belgian fans going into half time, a few minutes away, if you will, 5 or 6 plus probably. You wouldn't be motivated and confident going into the second half from what you've seen from your side.
No, I mean, it has got better from Belgium post-hydration break, but it's kind of all really shows how poorly it was going before. Just the fact that they've managed to inch up to 46% possession and get a couple of poor balls into the penalty area. The fact that it means an improvement for Belgium is slightly worrying, but they are getting a little bit more time on the ball. I think your early prediction may be coming right, that Senegal are just going to sit back a little bit more after scoring the goal, and I completely agree with you. They've scored 9 goals now already in the tournament, and they've conceded 6. I think sitting back is not the way for them to play.
No, I don't think so. De Bruyne into Doku on the right hand side, puts it back in, deflection, and the goalkeeper Diao had to react to that because it wasn't a shot, but it was going on target. You spoke about De Bruyne. That was great hold-up play from Kevin De Bruyne. That's what you want De Ketelaere to do a bit more. You've already pointed that out. Great play from Doku. He goes for the cross into the box, and it's a packed box, so I don't mind the cross. He takes a deflection, a scary heart-in-mouth moment there for the Senegal fans, defenders of the team and all that. I think, personally, Doku should have gone for a shot there. Yeah,
I think so, and they were a little bit fortunate, really. Senegal, well, it would have been a horrible way for them to concede a goal, really, with that deflection, so it was good awareness from the keeper. I was just looking at that hold-up play, as you mentioned, and thinking, of course, I completely understand the logic of what you said about De Bruyne being your best player, so he plays in his best position. But De Ketelaere is a much more limited player. He come forward here and win a corner. As I'm not rating him, he goes and wins a corner for his side. But I think, De Ketelaere is a good player, but obviously more comfortable in that attacking position. And I just feel like Kevin De Bruyne is such a good and well-rounded player that maybe he would be better off taking up that false 9 position. We've seen him play so well as a winger over the years, times at Manchester City. He's just a great all-round attacker, and of course he's played in plenty of Pep teams with no out-and-out striker anyway. Maybe he should be pushing a little bit further forward.
Well, was it the season before Haaland came in? It was him and Foden as almost a false 9, wasn't it? And you're right, he played very well. Corner for Belgium coming up. It's taken shot. Strike comes in outside the area. It's on goal. Diao to make a big save from De Kuyper. He was given too much space, too long on the edge of the area. Again, a save I expect the goalkeeper to make. It's a nice curling effort, and you see it from behind. It's even better of a save from Diao. Nearly was blocked as well, so almost maybe the goalkeeper's sight was a little bit blinded. So credit to the number 23 for Senegal. Again, very similar to what the Senegal coach said. Well, you said, Charlie, early. Diao just said to everyone, keep your heads, calm down. We're so close to half-time. Let's not concede an equaliser, as it will be another corner from the near side. I believe that was 5 minutes it went up. Yes, it was. De Bruyne fizzes one into the box. Edge of the area, header comes back in, but it goes wide of the target. De Kuyper, another shot, this time off target though. Almost was right. We're gonna fizz it to the edge of the area, try and maybe knock it back into the danger area. But Senegal did read it. You can see the fans in the stands, well, they're dancing in the Senegal green and yellow, whereas the Belgium red and yellow, they look very glum, as you would imagine. It almost is a carbon copy of the Congolese fans at half-time and the England fans. A lot of glum faces for the European side, the African side, all smiles. That's one well in the middle by the goal scorer. Diarra plays it down the right-hand side to Njai. He's got space, he's going to cut inside. It's a few heavy touches. Gay goes for a strike. Does that take a deflection? It's going to be kept in play, I think, by Castagna. No, he's going to let it trickle out. I thought that took a deflection, personally, and it went wide of the mark. Because of that, it would have been a corner, but it's a goal kick regardless. But that just shows to the Senegal, because if anything, they've got that 4-3-3 still. It's a mid-block, but as soon as it comes forward, they attack, on the counter. 1-0 up, they're defending supremely well, but on the counter, they could still score a couple of goals if Belgium don't get their act together.
Absolutely. And I think Belgium, they've had the better post-hydration break, but still just resulting in no real chances. I mean, it speaks volumes that the closest they've come was a curling effort from your fullback 30 yards from goal. I mean, would have been a wonder goal, and we wouldn't have been having this conversation, but they have been resorted to long shots, and I have to say, so far, Dior looks more than capable in the Senegal net.
You don't look at him and go, he looks out of his depth, do you? With Mendy out with an injury that we've already spoke about. Long ball forward for Doku, well defended by Niakite, and it will be a goal kick for Diao. 2 minutes of the 5 have been played. We're almost halfway through stoppage time, and as the referee just saying to Diao, come on, no time wasting, please. Long ball forward. Yeah, I like it. They're not taking risks here. Look, when we see teams, that's going to be another foul by Papa Gay there on Doku that time, I believe it was. Not a shock that he's won a foul. I believe it. Again, on the right-hand side, I think he's dangerous off either side. It's just which side do you get him at. Maybe you prefer a match-up against a certain full-back, if you will. De Kuyper's pushing really high up here. Means that Trossard is almost a little bit central, trying to overload that area possibly with De Bruyne. You spoke as well about that false 9, and I think we're giving De Ketelaere a lot of grief, but just because we know how good he can be. That's the reason. We know how good of a footballer he is, so when you see someone underperform, it's a little bit more frustrating. We know that he's got all the talent there. If anything as well, I'd say even Trossard could play that position a bit better than maybe he played De Kuyper a bit further up. Just as options, Trossard, I think, is to say he's not a striker. He's got a great finish on him. He could be another option. He's on the ball now. Tielemans into Doku, gets away from his man, edge of the area. Is he clipped there that time? He's clipped not by the second one. It's clipped by the first one though, and it will be a free kick. And look, credit to Belgium. They are growing into this game. We're late on in the first half in stoppage time, but they're getting space, and I think it's rightfully as it was. I do believe Mane, the man who brought him down, it was the Senegal number 10. But it's what we spoke about. They're sitting back. They're allowing Belgium to get on the ball. This is not what you want to do. I know you can't take it to them for 90 minutes, but they're letting Belgium grow into their strengths.
Yeah, I think not to bring it back to De Ketelaere again. Well, I am going to do it. I just feel like this isn't the kind of game that suits him really. No. As I said before, I think when that New Zealand game really opened up, he played brilliantly from that point onwards. But things are so tight back there, especially at the minute with Senegal sort of sitting off and letting Belgium have possession. He's not sort of picking up the ball in areas where he's got the space to make an impact really. I will say that this is a fantastic opportunity when you consider the people that Belgium have got stood over this free kick. We could see this one as an attempt from goal, I think.
Well, Tielemans was there. He's made his way away from goal. He's got the left boot of Kuyper, De Kuyper, the right boot of De Bruyne. Expected to be the former Manchester City man. As I say that now, it's De Kuyper who goes for goal. And he probably should have let it be in Kevin De Bruyne. That was a really poor free kick. Didn't even beat the wall, and it was quite tepid. I think if he would have beat the wall, it would have just bobbled into the arms of the goalkeeper. And maybe to a degree it was De Kuyper, because everyone had eyes on De Bruyne, so De Bruyne's going to take this, and it was almost maybe the shock of the left boot of De Kuyper. I don't know, but I look at that and goes, that's an opportunity missed. De Bruyne, what a ball from left to right that is to Doku. That's what we've been missing from this half. Doku cuts inside, pokes it back to the edge of the area. Tielemans has an overlapping run from Castagna, doesn't use it, dinks a ball into the box, headed away, falls for De Bruyne on the edge, doesn't get all of it, gets a shot off. It would be going off of target, straight at the goalkeeper. I might count as a shot on target, I don't know, was technically saved by the goalkeeper. Looks like though that might be all she wrote for the first half. It is an impressive first half for Senegal. They took the lead after a lovely ball into the box from Mane, headed on by Sarr into the post, but Habib Diarra, the Sunderland midfielder, right place, right time, running in for a tap-in. Belgium, they grew into the game, but never really challenged the goalkeeper. A big second half coming up for the Red Devils, as they have got to get back in this, or it'll be the Africans who are going through. Half-time in Seattle, it is Belgium 0, Senegal 1.
Half-time in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal, and it's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they lead as a result. The deadlock was broken from Habib Diarra in the 25th minute. Sadio Mane with a brilliant cross into the back post as Ismaila Sarr hit the post, and then it bounced back out to Diarra, who did the rest. Sarr had also hit the post a little bit earlier on in the piece, and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they're growing into the game, but Maxime de Kuyper's curling effort is the best they've come so far. For Belgium, they're growing into the game, but half-time in Seattle between Senegal and Belgium. It's the Senegalese that find themselves 1-0 up after a brilliant first half performance. Habib Diarra broke the deadlock after 25 minutes. It was a brilliant cross in from Sadio Mane on the right-hand side. No, it's the left-hand side. (1-0) in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuyper that went safely over the bar. So far, it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuyper that went safely over the bar. So far, it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuyper that went safely over the bar. So far, it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuyper that went safely over the bar. So far, it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuyper that went safely over the bar. So far, it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. 1-0 in Seattle between Belgium and Senegal. It's the Senegalese that have had much the better of the first half, and they broke the deadlock on 25 minutes through Habib Diarra, the Sunderland man, knocking in the rebound after Ismaila Sarr hit the post from a Sadio Mane cross. Sarr had also hit the post in the 13th minute and then couldn't scramble in the rebound. As for Belgium, they've been growing into the game, but still the best effort was a curling one from Maxime de Kuiper that went safely over the bar. So far it's Belgium 0, Senegal 1. And warm welcome back to this last 32 clash between Belgium and Senegal. And the Senegalese, not only do they have the lead, but they have the ball and they're right on the front foot from the kickoff. The shot comes in. Mane, with some good work, laid it back to Pape Gueye, and the pressure continues. So none of the post-half-time pleasantries for me. It's right into the thick of it. The ball swung into the box, back to Iliman Ndiaye. Shot comes in. Ooh. Well, that's one way to start a football half.
What a start it would have been. I mean, in front of the long ball straight away, Sarr brought it down incredibly well, didn't he? And again, I just really like how they're playing this game. We were speaking off the air at half-time and saying, well, we hope that Senegal, they really dropped deep later on in that first half. I think they allowed Belgium too much to get back in it. I know you can't press and keep the tempo as high as Senegal did in the first half an hour for 90. I do get that. But my word, do I think they really allowed Belgium to get comfortable and create chances. They were on Belgium, they looked good. But here come Belgium with Trossard.
Trossard finds Van Aken, who was unable to get the pass forward to one man who I need to bring you info on, because Charles de Ketelaere, I think the Belgian manager Rudy Garcia has been listening to some unofficial off-tube studio commentary in this game, because he has taken off de Ketelaere, who, I mean, he's just had no impact in the game. It wasn't that he was bad, he's just, Belgium clearly missing an out-and-out centre forward, and they certainly have that and some with Romelu Lukaku, with, as you said, in the first half, there was 90 plus goals to his name in a Belgian shirt now coming on for this second half. It was the first half, if you missed it, that Senegal dominated, really, both in the stats and by the eye test. They did sit off after Belgium, well, they did sit off after they scored, apologies, after the hydration break. It was actually a pre-hydration break goal, which is a rarity. It feels like it's usually right after that we get one. But Senegal, yeah, much the better team, definitely deserve the lead, and they've come out like a bull and a gate in this second half as well. Ismaila Sarr, as we were talking about in the first half, in contrast to de Ketelaere, proper centre forwards performance, hit the post twice. The second time he hit the post did lead to the goal for Diarra, as it went off the upright and back into the path of the Sunderland man. Seeing a replay of some fancy footwork from Sadio Mane. We were both a little bit worried about how Senegal was sitting back in the second quarter, if you want to call it that. So are you happy with how they've come out in this second half, sorry?
Yeah, they're really positive. I do have to say I like that. And once again, I'll state it a few times, you can't keep the intensity and the tempo they did for 90 minutes, but you can't also then just allow Belgium to get on the ball and knock it around. As I said, we were speaking, if you give De Bruyne the 15 minutes of finding his way, finding his feet, he's going to pick a pass out. Doku's going to do something. Doku had a really quiet first half, didn't have any take-ons, didn't have a shot on target, didn't even have a shot as well. You know he'll do something in the second half if you give him chances. In the first half an hour, whenever a De Bruyne, a Trossard, a Doku took a touch, they were on them. They had no room. In those last 15 minutes, they could take touches. Senegal dropped back and it just allowed them to get their head up. You don't want to let players of this ability do that. And the Kuiper heavy touch there. I really like it from Senegal. I think as well, if they could get a second, I'm not saying you've got to really go gung-ho to get a second, but whilst you're playing that forward-thinking football, go get that second, really take it to Belgium. And 2-0, could be knocking them out. And again, it wouldn't be nowhere near as a shock as the Paraguay knocking Germany out, but it would put a marker down for Senegal if they were to knock out the European side.
Yeah, and perhaps, as you were saying, as a result of what you were saying, about the fact that Doku and Trossard were getting absolutely no luck in that first half. They have actually swapped flanks to begin the second one, so it's currently Trossard shaping up on the left and Doku on the right. Maybe just to give the fullbacks a slightly different challenge and see if they're up for it. But I mean, Diatta, he was certainly up for it on the first occasion, because that was a crunching header away from Trossard a minute or two ago. Obviously Trossard, not the greatest aerial threat, but probably on form, perhaps the best player, well, alongside his other winger Doku in this Belgian side. So the fullbacks, along with everyone else really on the pitch for Senegal, doing their job expertly so far. And it is one of those fullbacks, Diatta, on the ball, moves it inside to Ismaila Sarr, who's dropped really deep, finds Pape Gueye. It's a good ball over to the left-hand side to Mane, who's inching into the box, tries to beat his man, lays the ball across, and the shot comes in from Diarra. He just couldn't quite get the right connection on it with the left boot. Could the goal score it, but it was more nice play from Mane and more fantastic football from Senegal.
That left-hand side, that's beautiful from Mane, isn't it? He pulls it back. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit, he's reaching for it. Diarra's in a little bit behind him for being really critical there of the ball back in, but it was superb play from Sadio Mane. And again, what I like about it, and Sadio Mane will do this, and this isn't, but you see so many inverted players. Long ball forward here, chance for Senegal.
Yeah, Sadio Mane is the man who's through, takes a touch and leathers it into the back. There is a shout for offside. Oh no, it's Ismaila Sarr that's done it. Well, we bigged up his centre-forward performance in the first half, and that was an absolutely brilliant centre-forward's goal. Took it over his shoulder, chested it down, managed to out-muscle two centre-backs who were converging on him, and then just put his laces through it with the right boot, thumped it into the back of the net. Thibaut Courtois had absolutely no chance of getting to that one. And just as we were talking about it, Senegal have got that second goal, breathing room now, and they're still just completely outplaying Belgium.
Oh, what a ball it is as well. As usually offside, he is well on. I want to say, is it Michele who drops back for a second? Sarr reads that, goes behind Fiat. They can't catch him, the Crystal Palace man. You can't see it. What a ping of a pass that is from the centre-back. Lovely chest control. You see some players do that. They can bring it down, but then the defender puts them off, or you lose your balance. It's a great first touch, as you said, wraps his laces round it. Courtois, it's that close. That is one of them where if it's straight at the keeper, that's the only way you save it. You can't react to that. Brilliant strike by the Senegalese forward. 2-0, that's a perfect start. That's what you need. 6 minutes in, 2-0 up. Belgium, those fans, they know that they've not been good enough. The players will know they've not been good enough. And then at the start of the second half, Senegal, that we said, come out, be positive, go get that 2-0 lead. That's exactly what they've got now. This is going to be difficult for Belgium. I feel for Lukaku because I don't even know if he's had a touch of the ball since coming on. We had to go at the Ketelare for dropping too deep, and they're not being in the number 9 area. Now I'm saying, Lukaku could drop a bit deeper and get involved in play. So being quite hypocritical I am there. But 4 goals in 4 appearances for Ismaila Sarr, a man on form in this World Cup. But again, that's a player who's playing at striker, who's not an out-and-out number 9, making that striker's run. I mean, if Belgium don't get their act together, this could become quite an ugly afternoon in Seattle for them.
Yeah, especially when you think about, for Sarr, the company he's in that Golden Boot race. You're talking Messi, Haaland, Mbappe, Dembele, Harry Kane. So to be up there with 4 goals, Vinicius Jr. as well, is some effort. And what I really liked about that one as well is the fact that to be able to sort of lean back and chest it in the way he did, it sort of took all the sting out of the ball. But once he was then leaning back and he was under pressure from Tiate running back, it felt like the whole time he was almost sort of stumbling towards goal. His weight was going backwards. I mean, how many times do we see, number one, strikers with their weight going backwards sky a shot, but also number two, anyone taking a volley in any situation skying a shot. So to be running in, falling backwards and on the volley, and to be able to sort of get your foot across it, slice it into that top corner, it's absolutely brilliant technique from, again, let's reiterate, a man who is not an out-and-out striker, but he's certainly playing like one in this match. And Senegal coming forward again, Yuri Tielemans having to get a couple of bites of that one to get it away. Jeremy Doku, though, really quick feet, gets past his man, brought down. Lewis wants a yellow card for that one. The referee did play advantage initially, but he was swarmed in the end by a couple of Senegalese defenders down that right-hand side, Doku, and as a result did win the free kick.
Yeah, I just thought it was a little bit from behind, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying it is yellow card, but we've seen them given, haven't we? I think as well, maybe because Doku got back up, probably takes the yellow card sting out of it. But my word, I mean, that's a foul at all by Njai on Vanaken there. I think he gets away with one there because Senegal, those green jerseys going forward. And you can almost see, can't you, that Senegal, they want a third. They want to make a bit of a statement, I think, this afternoon. And again, because they didn't coming out of the group impressively, if you will, because again they're in a really tough group. I think that they themselves have got that thing to prove, haven't they? Underdogs. I couldn't believe that price-wise the underdogs that they were, if I'm being bluntly honest, and they're much better than what they was. You talk about Sarr, 21 goals last season for the Eagles, and that was playing as a number 10 attacking midfielder, winger, just behind a Mateta or a Strang Larsen. And he's playing as number. If I'm the incoming manager for Crystal Palace, I'd be thinking maybe Sarr's the man to lead the line for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Belgium finally with a little bit of respite coming forward. Yuri Tielemans plays it into the path of Doku, still on that right hand side, tries to get the ball in, but Jacobs is equal to it. It's just been complete and utter dominance, 50-50 possession in this second half, but 4 shots already from Senegal, 1 on target, 6 touches in the opposition box, and 1 big chance which was pouched by Ismaila Sarr. And all those numbers, if you're wondering, that I've just read out for Belgium read 0, 0, 0 and 0, and they're going to make more changes now, and it's Kevin De Bruyne coming off. That's and Jeremy Doku, that really shows the crisis that Belgium are in here. It's bold changes from Rudy Garcia, and it's Raskin and Lubiaiko, the two to come on. Well, what do you make of those? Big changes.
I mean, I know that a lot of players can be. I mean, you can see Doku there. I don't know what he's saying, but he doesn't look happy. Ball into the box from a throw-in's cleared away. De Bruyne and Doku are having good games, and there's no offence to the players coming on. That just seems like a power move from the manager, that I can win a game without you guys. That's the only reason I can explain it. You wouldn't, if Vinicius Jr. having a bad game for Brazil, you wouldn't take Vinicius Jr. off. If Lionel Messi was having a bad game for Argentina, you wouldn't take Lionel Messi off. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're really surprising, and now you've lost your 2 best players probably on the pitch, and Senegal are coming forward down the left.
Ismaila Sarr, man of the match so far, he plays a brilliant ball in, and it's Jacobs. He bust a gut to sort of overlap him there and get on the end of that, but his crossing was blocked by the first man. So we're just scrambling to have a little look at these 2 players that have come on. So it's Dodi Lubiaiko, who plays for Benfica, who's replaced Jeremy Doku up front. And then Nicholas Raskin, the Rangers man, has come on for Kevin De Bruyne. I guess potentially one way you could spin it is that Jeremy Doku is still coming back from injury. Maybe there's still a need to manage his minutes. We are coming up to the hour mark in just a few minutes' time. And Kevin De Bruyne, Belgium's best ever player, but he is, 35 years old now? It's probably a good argument to say that a game of this intensity, he can't last the full 90 minutes.
Possibly, but Raskin gives away a free kick straight away as well. So, I mean, Raskin has a bit more bite about him, you'd say. Maybe Tielemans moves to that number 10. Raskin drops deep with Vanaken. It's well, as well, so this is going to sound so hypocritical for myself, because it is. I just look at now and go, what did we say in the first half? Where's De Ketelaere's best position? Where De Bruyne's playing in that number 10. could you not have kept De Ketelaere on for a bit longer? Bring Lukaku, if you're going to take De Bruyne off, bring Lukaku on for De Bruyne, drop De Ketelaere back and put him then in his best position. Because then I think he shines a bit better. I'm really shocked by that. It's been taking the wind out of me a little bit. And again, it almost feels like half of a white flag's being thrown by Belgium here. And you are right about the minutes of Doku and stuff, and if this is a group game, you probably go, okay, I get it, minutes you got to. They're out if they don't win this. So De Bruyne's World Cup, maybe his last World Cup, is done because again he can't keep up with it. Yeah, that's right, but Messi's 39 and isn't got the intensity. You make a team around him. That's what Belgium should have done and need to do for De Bruyne. Look, it might come back and Luka Bacchio and Raskin scoring, it's 2-2. I don't know, but on the surface, I don't agree with those changes.
Yeah, at half-time, we almost set ourselves a challenge, I think, to keep mentioning De Ketelaere, despite the fact that we saw he'd been subbed off, and you've done brilliantly there, Lewis, but I do know exactly what you mean. I think it's almost defensive changes when you think about Raskin. He's more of a DM, and it already does look like Tielemans has moved further forwards, but he's had a really tough game as well. I think he could have been a candidate for coming off. Lukaku gets what I think was actually his first touches of the ball. He tries to knock it back into the path of Van Aken, but he's unable to do so. It's back with Trossard now, about 40 yards from goal. Plays a nice cross-field pass out to the right-hand side. And it's the substitute Lukaku who's made a couple of good touches there. Moved inside, beat a couple of men. Did Luka Baiku. Apologies, as the ball's played back to the centre-backs, but there was a promising start from the substitute. Romelu Lukaku, that's a good first sort of, well, not touch really, a half turn, and then he tries to play it into Tielemans, who has come forward. Shot comes in and into the side netting. But already you can start to see some positive signs there for Belgium. I think it was good play from Luka Bacchio. Third time lucky, and Romelu Lukaku, I think, with a touch there that only a proper striker could make, where he sort of just let it go past his body, and then all of a sudden he was facing the right direction towards goal.
Yeah, but it's again that presence in the box, and it takes a slight deflection of Niakate, that shot. I didn't see that from that angle, so fair play to the linesman, should see it, but it's a good decision. It's a poor corner that comes in. You need better delivery than that. And as well, saying about De Bruyne can't hack this intensity, you could have dropped him deeper and just let him play. It reminds me of Gerrard dropping deep when he got older Scholes, and a lot of players have done that. Right, I was a more forward player who got in behind with my pace when I was younger. You just drop him in the middle, put him next to someone. You could have done that with De Bruyne as well, or even just swap him and Tielemans. I'm going to be, regardless of the result, I feel I'm just going to be obsessed that he's took Kevin De Bruyne off.
Yep, and Jeremy Doku as well. Trossard has the ball still on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side where he started the game. That's headed away convincingly out for a throw-in that De Kuyper takes quickly, trying to catch Senegal out, but they're equal to the task, but so is De Kuyper. He snatches the ball back, played into Lukaku. Shot comes in and deflected away, and Yuri Tielemans does well there to leap like a salmon and nod the ball onto Tiate to keep this attack going. It's back with De Kuyper on the left-hand side, and he just hits it against Iliman Ndiaye. It'll be a throw-in, and we're seeing a fourth change being readied here for Belgium. Rudy Garcia, he's just throwing everything at the wall now and seeing what will stick. It's Diego Moreira for the Strasbourg man. Left footer, attacker, ready to come on. Be interesting to see if it's another big hitter that makes way. Surely you don't take Trossard off. I mean, I think none of them had a good game, but he's looked maybe the most likely.
You'd say so, wouldn't you? And just as an attacker, unless you take either Tielemans or Van Aken off, maybe. I'm not too sure. And just go 4-2-4. I don't know, 4-1-5. I'm not too sure. Maybe take a defender off and just be like, look, we'll maybe move Van Aken back. Take Fiat or Michelli off, maybe. I'm not too sure. Again, it almost just seems going for broke, but going for broke at the wrong times. Rudy Garcia, as you said, it's almost just what can I throw at the wall, and hopefully one of the subs stick. They've already made 3 changes, so this will be their 4th, and then they've got another block left. He's having a word with the referee, and again, Rudy Garcia's got to just hope that this doesn't get embarrassing for the Red Devils.
Yeah, Diego Moreira is on, and it's Van Aken, the centre midfielder, to come off. So either he is dropping into midfield, or they're going to a sort of 2-4. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, we always talk about maybe players, managers making substitutions a little bit too late and being a little bit too scared. It feels like Rudy Garcia's gone a little bit early here, if anything. They're coming forward again, Belgium. They are enjoying a little bit more possession since that second Senegal goal went in, but that's very much the pattern that the first half followed, and they weren't able to get anything in that regard, as we've seen a yellow card for Michele of Belgium, stopping the counter-attack with a cynical foul, just tripping up, I believe it was Ismail Sarr, as he looked to get the ball on the half turn. It was Sarr. What a brilliant game he's having, flicking it around the centre back there. He's just oozing class.
He knew the centre back was there. He knew what was going to happen. He almost braced himself. He knew it. If I flick it past him, if it blocks off of him, he'll win the ball, and I'll get a bit of a kicking as well. But if I can just flick it over my defender, I'm going to get past him, and it's definitely going to be a yellow card first of the game. And this is again where Belgium kind of have to. Again, that frustration, that level-headedness, don't now be picking up silly yellow cards and maybe get a red card, because then you are out of the game. At least, at the pure minimum, keep your 11 players on the field. Again, looking at the substitutions, again, Vanaken, I don't mind that coming off. Again, it's one of them. Raskin, I think you could have started Raskin as well. I really rate him for Rangers, and again, he's a real good passer of the ball. You've got to use your squad a little bit better. It looks like almost, would you say, Trossard and Lukaku up top, 4-4-2-esque.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair to Diego Moreira, I think he's exactly what you need in the sense of if you're trying to rejig the lineup, because just looking here on a certain website which kind of lists his positions, and it says primarily a right winger, but he can also play left wing back, right midfielder, left midfielder, attacking midfielder, and left winger. So it certainly gives you plenty of options. And it's Trossard, who a minute ago was in a front two, who's now there's probably 7 Belgian players ahead of him as he drop deeps and drives down the left hand side. Ball's moved over to the right hand side with Luka Biaku. He gets an early ball in. Romelu Lukaku. Now, I might be wrong here, but what that looked like to me is that Romelu Lukaku tried to chest it down to himself. It ballooned off his massive chest, and then he sort of looked over to the right to make it seem like he was trying to knock it off to a teammate, but he was unable to do so.
Yeah, he's struggled so far, Lukaku, and I don't blame him. He is coming back from injury. He had an injury season for Napoli after that fantastic 24-25 where he won the Scudetto along with Conte, McTominay and co. But he's just one of them where you just want to get him on the field sometimes, isn't it? And it's just not worked for him. Senegal were going to make their first substitution. Papa Gave's had a great game, but he's had a few fouls now, so probably on the verge of a yellow card himself, possibly if he makes another late foul, as the referees just say, go on, get on with it, stop walking, you can jog off the pitch. Kamara, the highly rated midfielders coming out. I will say Senegal, they've got a great side, but their midfield is very, depth-wise as well, it is absolutely fantastic. He's coming on, and as well, you know what that'll add? Of course, it adds a technical ability, adds fresh legs in the midfield, which, if you're Belgium right now, you don't have legs in midfield, because you don't have a midfield, basically, because you're going for it. So Senegal, that's a really smart decision, really smart sub.
Yeah, Lamine Kamara, the Monaco man, he actually started the last game and was swapped out for Pape Gueye, I'm sure in no small part due to those 2 goals that he got, but it's just what a headache to have as a manager if you're kind of your final central midfield position, you're choosing between Pape Gueye and Kamara. The stocks in midfield for Senegal certainly much richer than Belgium. Who'd have said that 8 or so years ago? It's really remarkable how things can turn around in international football. Senegal undoubtedly have one of their best teams of all time at their disposal currently. That's cut out in the midfield by Trossard, who actually, it really did look like out of possession initially, as Kamara goes straight into the book. That's his first involvement in the game, really. There's a foul on Leandro Trossard, but yeah, it looked like he was going to form a bit of a big man, little man up top with Lukaku, but ever since then he's dropped really deep, actually, Trossard.
He has, and I don't know if that's almost, he's now that free role number 10, if you will, with Luka Baku off the right, Moreira off the left, as Moreira does really well, but even better, Diaté. You spoke about the fullbacks for Senegal earlier. They've both been superb, haven't they, with Jacobs and Diaté. First of all, they get fought back and forth, but they've also right positions, they're supporting, they're good footballers, but what you need out of the modern day fullback is almost, you just need athletic. You need to be athletic. You need to have that engine in you. Old school box to box, but playing at full back. And then they've been superb as well. I've been really impressed by Senegal coming into it. I thought they'll do well, not this well. Belgium have been poor, yes, but Senegal have been superb. But yeah, Kamara, I think it's harsh, the yellow card, to say it's his first tackle. I think the couple of fouls in the first half warrant it more than that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, 2 quick-fire yellow cards. I don't know if that's that referee just trying to get him out of his pocket quickly.
Maybe he's got a bet on. We're still yet to see the hydration break. Yet again, it's been a little bit late coming, like it was in the first half. But I do hazard that the next time the ball goes out of play, probably will be that 3-minute stoppage, even though it's probably not needed on the balance of conditions in Seattle. It's about 17, 18 degrees there locally. And of course, these two played in Canada the game before as well. So they've probably both become pretty acclimatised to these cooler conditions. So that's a hack of a clearance that fortunately falls back into the hands of Dior, but Leandro Trossard was sniffing around that there. It was again Kamara, who's had a nightmare cameo so far. Yellow card and then almost a spectacular own goal. But Senegal get away with that one. Once again, the ball has not gone out of play. So we're still going here, but that is a foul. No, it's not a foul. It's not been given, and De Kuyper comes away with the ball, swings it in. Lukaku, he didn't jump for it. It just wasn't quite in his area, I guess, but it did pass quite close to the big man up top. It's back with Tielemans at the back post. He tries to find Lukaku, but the second time in a row he just didn't jump, and we will see the hydration break now.
I mean, Tielemans isn't happy. I mean, he's not having a go at Lukaku. I don't think anyone would have a go at Romelu Lukaku unless you'd like to end up on your backside. It's two him and Trossard are having a go at each other. This just screams frustration. Having a go at your own teammates. If you're Rudy Garcia, you've almost, with one sub left, seeing that, you've got to take one of them off. You've got to. And if I'm honest, Rudy Garcia is out on the field now having words with him. I know Tielemans is your captain, but Tielemans is one who started it. You've got to take Tielemans off. If I'm honest, we don't allow that. That is not allowed. You can be upset with your teammates, but it's one of them where save that for the dressing room afterwards. Keep that cool, calm face on the pitch. Maybe go to Trossard and say, look, I wasn't happy with that, but we'll speak about it later. Because if I'm Senegal, I'm laughing now. They're almost, what was it? Is it Dyer and Boye for Newcastle all those years ago? Idrissa Gana Gueye, the Senegal player, he slapped Michael Keane earlier this season at Old Trafford. You just know you've got the team in the palm of your hands, and this is it's embarrassing for Belgium. And your skipper, the one who's supposed to be the leader, is the one who's having a go at someone. That's what you want to see an 18-year-old doing, don't you? Who doesn't know any better. Not your experienced skipper who captained and won the Europa League only a few weeks. So really poor from Tielemans. Not a fan of that at all. I'm a fan of the goal though for Senegal at Sekwood, as you said. So many times you see a player off balance, leaning back, as you said. Rightfully so, then skies a half volley or a volley. Sar's that exactly. He's got a defend. Fiat's almost taking a piggyback off the Eagles forward, isn't it? And it's a great strike. And through his laces, as you rightfully said, Charlie, for Sar. It's a great strike. It's a great goal. Big fan of that. I'm a big fan of Senegal. Belgium, they're going out. They weren't impressive in the groups. As you said, against New Zealand, I thought they were. Should be expected that they're impressive against New Zealand. But this will be a real blemish, a real terrible moment in Belgian football, because I don't see him even getting a goal back in this. Really poor way to bow out of this big tournament. Yeah,
feels like the somewhat belated end of a golden era here, sort of crumbling in front of our eyes. But for Senegal and for African football in general, it feels like a new dawn. It's worth reflecting towards the end of this hydration break on just how well it's going for the African sides in this tournament. Only Tunisia didn't make it out of the groups, and then since that stage, we've already seen Morocco upset the Netherlands, if you can even call it an upset. Morocco's semi-finalist last time around, so I think I'll correct myself. Morocco beating the Netherlands. Senegal surely on the verge of a famous and comprehensive victory over Belgium. Ivory Coast did not disgrace themselves whatsoever against Norway. Brilliant goal from Amad Diallo, and they did well to get out of group for the first time. And then DR Congo, what a performance today against England. Unlucky to be knocked out. Got Cape Verde, amazingly making it out of the group at the first attempt. You've got Egypt still to play, Algeria as well. You think about Salah and Mahrez, the star power there. And of course Ghana, the 2010 quarter-finalist, have Colombia. Is there anything that you think has spurred on this brilliant African performance? I mean, would it be fair to talk about maybe the sweltering heat and conditions in some of the grounds? Obviously, we're playing in 17 degrees right now, Belgian conditions, and they're being played off the park. But can you think of any other reason other than just the strength and depth of African football as to why they're doing so well?
You spot on there about the depth, and it's one of them. It very much reminds me, to a degree, when Germany failed in World Cups, and then they kind of reset, didn't they? They went on to then win a World Cup from the ground up. It took them maybe 20 years. But they did that, and it's almost, for example, it's felt like for the past, since the early 2000s, African football's just been at a high rate being developing. You had certain sides in the 2000s and 2010s, like Ghana had Michael Essien, and you had star players, but the rest of the squad, unfortunately, really hit a low after them. Ivory Coast had the Touré brothers and Didier Drogba. Apart from that, was quite low in terms of the rest of the squad. You look at the Senegal team, all 11 players are playing at good level, high level. Really good. Same for Ivory Coast, as you said. Same with a lot of the African countries. Morocco, it's almost that it's gone from, right, we've got 3 good players. If they don't perform, we're not going to win. You've got 11 players, and of course there's maybe some Sadio Mane. If you put maybe a 2018 Sadio Mane in this team, you've got one of the best players in the world. You've still got a good Sadio Mane, though, haven't you? That midfield 3, as you said, you've got a great midfield 3, but you've also got the depth that this player's not playing well who can play this. It is, and you might be right about the conditions coming into this tournament. Only one team from outside of the Americas has won this tournament when it's been played in the Americas. That was Germany in 2014. The weather could definitely play a part, but the football, my word, Senegal are playing some great stuff. Here they come.
Yeah, they are. We are back underway. 74 minutes in, and the cross is about to come in. No, he checks back, does camera out. There are a couple of substitutions that I'll just make you quickly aware of. Papsar and Mbaye have come off. The men to make way are Diarra, the goal scorer, and Idiou Ndiaye, who's one of many to have a really good games in this one. But they are the changes. We've got about 15 minutes plus added time left, and I'll pass you over to Lewis for the remainder.
Cheers, Charlie. It's been a great game, hasn't it? And as you've already spoke about, we've got the other game coming up at 1 o'clock. That should be a barnstormer as well. Of course, on this service, you can catch all the games of the World Cup, the rest of the knockouts, as we proceed to see out this tournament, if you will. Still a long way to go, but the quality of every game now, it is up there, isn't it? Of course, 1 o'clock UK time. Do join us, USA against Bosnia and Herzegovina. That should be a great one. That's from San Francisco. We're not in place, but we're going from Seattle to San Francisco. That should be that's a lovely stadium where the 49ers do play. USA, they had a great group stage, if you will. And they'll be looking to continue that. Will Maurizio Pochettino and go. But Bosnia, they're the underdogs. Well, they've been underdogs before. They were underdogs. Myself and Charlie, quite a few months ago, did them when they went through against Italy, of course. And that was a shock that day. They could be in front of a shock this early hours of the morning. Back on their way, Senegal on the right side. Looks like they're going to make another substitution, Belgium. They've got one left. Looks like they've calmed things down with the hydration break. Looks like Tielemans and Trossard might have had a hug or so in the huddle. Luca Bacchio, he's been great since coming on. He's added a lot, I will say. That's as a substitute, I will say, has done pretty well since coming on. Raskin, he hasn't done bad, but you come on for Kevin De Bruyne, you've got big shoes to fill. He's a man on the ball on the right-hand side, back into the middle to the yellow carded Michele. Fiat, he might go for a pop at goal here. He does. He takes a deflection. Now there could be a swift counter-attack for Senegal. Ball over the top. Mane is going to chase it. It's going to stay in play, but Courtois going to get there. He nearly went out almost for the corner flag, if you will. It was just too much on it. Maybe going forward there, I believe it was Ghana Gay, just trying to find the pass, just too much on it. Needed to get it over the defence, but also cushion it into the path of Mane at the same time. Luca Bacchio driving forward on the right hand side, into the feet of Trossard. Back to Raskin. Can he find a ball into the box? He's got a good delivery. Back stick it goes. De Kuyper nods it back down and only into the path of Ismail Sis. So not very clearance though. Kept alive in the middle. That's a good header though. Flying up into the air. Takes a bit of a rough landing. Does Diatte. But he's up and back, but he has to defend now as Belgium come forward. Luca Bacchio fakes it onto his left, back onto his right now. He's going for a curling effort that goes wide of the post there. He's been lively. Again, I will say Doku, Charlie spoke about it, coming back into fitness, so that's a more understandable sub. And look, Luka Bacchio, if he scores a brace, then the manager definitely has been vindicated. Oh my word, that's even closer than I thought it was, if I'm being honest. That would have been one of the goals of the tournament. He's looked so lively since coming on as Luka Bacchio. He's more of a striker, but he's pacey and he can cut inside, and that's one of them that you can see in Diaw's face as because he knows he can't get it there. As it goes past him, he's just, I hope this is going wide. It did, but that's probably the closest Belgium have come all game, realistically.
Yeah, there was the other De Kuyper curled effort. De Kuyper's just been subbed off, by the way, for Meunier. But that's the final substitution. I'm in two minds, really, because I'm thinking, has he just messed up the substitutions? Yeah, Luka Bacchio has been brilliant, and it's good that he's brought on. But did he have to take off one or two of the big hitters to get a Luka Bacchio? And couldn't you? He's had to reshuffle it anyway. Couldn't you have done something where Trossard drops into the middle and then Luka Bacchio comes in, and then you keep De Bruyne on there, or maybe you get De Bruyne out wide? I'm thinking maybe that he's got it wrong and he's gone a little bit early with the big subs and he's left himself, nothing to come on now. He's just, his final substitution 2-0 down, he's just swapped a left back for a right back. That's not going to win you the game. That being said, as the cross comes in from Mane is cleared, I just look at this bench and think, actually, maybe it's just not that good, and maybe that's why he's having difficulties. I mean, when you look at the quality of people that Senegal can bring on, Pape Sarr, Kamara and Mbaye, they play for Tottenham Hotspur. Okay, they almost got relegated. Monaco and PSG, like the quality of player they're able to draw on. And then you look at, they've brought on Belgium, they've brought on Rangers players, Benfica, Lille, Strasbourg. I think obviously it just really speaks to the quality of in depth, and Senegal, they just have it in buckets in comparison to their rivals.
Do look very good, and of course still to go a long way in this tournament. I know dark horses have to beat Belgium in the round of 32. I'm not going to sit here and say that they are one of the teams that you look and go, well, they are now a team, but they will face the challenger. I spoke about the winner of the USA Bosnia game. Whoever faces them, they'll be in a lot of trouble, it has to be said. I think Senegal have got a good opportunity that if they get past them, they'll face either Portugal, Croatia or Spain or Austria. That's poor play back at the end for Belgium. It's going to be a foul there. It's going to be a free kick. It's right on the edge of the area as well. Simifi Castagna, he's very lucky that he's not a few more further yards back. It's a poor pass from Moreira, it has to be said. But so good once again. Actually, it's a little bit further out than I thought. But it will be a dangerous free kick as well. It's a sore one for Ismail Sarr. And I think to a degree that just sums up Belgium a little bit. Just that touch heavy, just that off the boil touch, just a second or so behind Senegal. They've been on them all afternoon. Yeah,
just late, a little bit late to everything. Senegal just completely, the pace of play they've not been able to live with. And yeah, you just spoke about Bosnia and how we commentated them beating Italy. I really like this Bosnian team and it's a great story, but I do think if it does end up being a USA Senegal round of 16 clash in terms of playing styles, that could be an absolute belter of a match.
Both teams want to attack, want to go forward. I think you're right. That could be one of the on paper names. He isn't a standout one, but definitely in terms of how the two sides have played football in this tournament. Ball comes in, not a great one. It's headed away. Senegal will again. I think they're just happy. They just want to. You keep a clean sheet, you're through. You're 2-0 up. It's just about let's not make any mistakes. Let's not let Belgium even have a sniff back in this game. Poor touch from Luka Bacchio. It's out for a throw, and then if anything, Senegal are coming forward, and it looks like Belgium look like they've lost. And we've obviously the hydration, but a lot of times we're 8 and a half minutes in. Warm welcome if you aren't joining us. It's Belgium 0, Senegal 2. Unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary of this round of 32 clash at Lumen Stadium in Seattle. You'd have to say that Senegal obviously they've been best, I think, from minute one. Sarr was unlucky not to score, of course, with the first. Lovely header off the inside of the post, and right place, right time from Diarra to put it in the back of his own net. Ball forward, looking for the run there of Mbaye. Too much on it back to the goalkeeper. He does go, but Senegal now just looking to see this game out. Only second in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the second half. Great strike from Sarr. Lovely ball from Niakate, finding the Crystal Palace forward. Belgium on the ball just inside the Senegal half. They just happen to see Zaun Look, most of the time you've got 82.5 minutes on the clock. You're looking right. We've got maybe 10 minutes left with stoppage time. You already know you've got 3 because of the hydration break. Kazuka Bakio puts a decent ball into the box. Header goes wide of the marker. Getting forward was Castagna, a right back, almost playing as a number 9. Maybe if that's Lukaku, maybe that's a different story. But Luka Bakio, he has made the world of difference, I do have to say, for Belgium. He's been the brightest spark, and he's played half an hour, if that. I feel, yes, 2-0 down, you feel like you've lost. In most games, you're thinking, we've got less than 10 minutes here. 3 minutes for hydration break, you've had subs, you've had goals. If I'm Belgium, you've got to just think, if we get one in the next 5-10 minutes, we've got a lot more time. Belgium look as if they've already lost. Their heads are down as they're coming forward. And Charlie in a moment, edge of the area, Tielemans will go for a strike at goal. Does it take a deflection? No, it doesn't. It kept rising and rising and into the stands. And that's exactly, they've looked defeated, but if that goes in, you've got a lot of time to go and get an equaliser.
Yeah, you do, but I still think they're just set up really strangely now. It's worth mentioning that Castagna, he's moved over to left back by the looks of it. I'm a Leicester City supporter. I do remember when he joined us, he was primarily our left back for a long time. But he's playing at left back so Munier can go to right back, but then also he's your man in the box next to Romelu Lukaku, and he's the one getting his head on the ball. It just speaks to a little bit of muddled thinking, I think, with these substitutions. And even then, it's a little thing, but ending up with Tielemans on the left-hand side of the box, shooting with his weak foot. He's not got a bad weak foot, but it's just the wrong side for him. You've got Trossard playing up front when he was doing a decent job on the wings. It just doesn't look like a team, and they've made another error here.
Sadio Mane coming forward, strike at goal is saved. The man into the rebound. More Michele will get there first, only as far as Kamara though, and Senegal will continue to come forward. I thought they might go for a strike at goal there, but no, it's almost. Let's just calm it down. And I do believe yes, it will be. It will be for Mane. The ball forward, just offside. The former Bayern and Liverpool man. Maybe the pass just a second. No, he's well onside. That's a poor decision from the linesman, I have to say, because he is well onside it. He's onside from the man who's marking him. There's a man who's about not on level with him, but it keeps him onside. Don't know what the linesman was giving there. Of course, it doesn't go in the back of the net, so it doesn't. I mean, maybe if Belgium go and grab 2, that might be something to think about. I don't think that will be happening, but you rightfully put that. I think Bosnia would give Senegal a good game. I don't want to say they wouldn't. They're a hard working side. They've got some real technical quality. That's a poor pass. Tielemans, he's really been off the boil this afternoon. It wasn't his pass, but he didn't react. Michele, poor pass into him. Here comes Mane into the penalty area, left hand side, ball into the box. It's deflected. San nearly falls for him, but left boot through it there from Fiat. That's a lovely chest from Lukaku. We haven't seen enough of that in the second half. Left-hand side, Moreira. Just under 5 minutes of the 90 to go. The Strasbourg man cuts inside, looks and gets his head up, plays it short for Raskin. He might go for a pop of goal. I know we're far out. He goes for a pass into Lukaku, looks to flick it on. Moreira, does he keep the attack alive? He'll at least try, ball back into the box for Lukaku, strike at goal! And Lukaku puts it in the back of the net. Do we have a game on here in Seattle? They have been second best all afternoon long. Subs have been made, stuff's been thrown at the wall by Rudy Garcia, but it is Romelu Lukaku who bails Belgium out once again. They've still got a goal to score. They've got 4 minutes plus stoppage time. It is Belgium 1, Senegal 2. Could they pull it back, Charlie?
Well, I think Lukaku, first of all, he's actually, this isn't revisionism from me, I hope, but he's actually had a very decent half, I think, coming on. He's just been starved of the ball, really. But anytime it does come into him, he's the one who looks like, he wants to get the ball moving a bit quicker. It's been a bit laboured for Belgium, but we saw just before that goal, he tried, rather than just, trying to take a touch towards goal, he flicked it back, but there was no one there. But there's 2 or 3 times he's got the ball, and straight away he's either turned his body forwards, or he's thought attacking, or he's thought link-up play. And as we were saying in the first half, I'm going to mention him again, De Ketelaere, just having someone in there who knows how to be in the right place at the right time, even when his attempted back heel was sort of intercepted. He then peeled off to the right-hand side of the box. He was exactly where he needed to be, on the edge of the 6-yard box when that ball got played in, and there was a nice cultured finish with his weaker foot. So Romelu Lukaku, he may not be the most willing runner anymore, or able to impact the game anywhere other than that penalty area, but get that ball into him in the penalty area, things happen, and they just did.
It was a great, again, right place, right time, and I mean, De Ketelaere has taken a lot of grief off of being Charlie, but it's not the player again, it's the position, but we know how good the player can be. Here comes Senegal though on a counter-attack, strike comes in just inside the area in Baye, stretching for the strike, again. I mean, that would have been great to go through and up for Senegal. I do think that's an awkward... on that angle, you've got to almost keep it low and drive it to the other corner, haven't you? But now, Belgium, their tails are up. Lukaku coming forward. What a story this could be. Even if they just turn it around for a draw and take it into stoppage time. Trossard, that's a heavy touch. Senegal, they're going to get space on the counter. They can't pass it into Mane. Belgium, at this point, they've made all 5 changes, but you might as well just keep the 2 centre-backs back and get everyone further forward. And you have to say, just about 2 minutes left in the 90, give or take, anywhere between 5-7 minutes of stoppage time, give or take. There is a lot of time here for Belgium, and Senegal are not holding on by any means necessary, but you do just feel Belgium have it between the teeth at the moment. Moreira back to Trossard, swings one into the back, sticks keeper comes to clear, misses it, and it's in the back of the net. Belgium have the equaliser. They've turned it around. Looks like it's the skipper Yuri Tielemans who has it. It is 2 apiece. 2 goals in almost 2 minutes for the Red Devils. What a moment this is in Seattle. Well, they've got it back to a draw. There is time for a winner, Charlie. Where do we go from here? And I say that, Senegal could go get a winner. It looked like it was dead, buried. Senegal against either USA or Bosnia. We've been talking about it for the last 20 minutes, almost. Well, don't count Rudy Garcia's Red Devils out. They've been so poor for 84 minutes, but they've got 2 goals from 2 players with exceptional experience. It's a good ball in from Trossard. The keeper comes to play, and you'd have to say it's a howler from the keeper, if I'm being honest. Diao tries to come out, goes to punch it, absolutely whiffs at it. Tielemans basically nearly takes an absolute clothesline for it as well, does the skipper, so credit to the Aston Villa man for that. He comes to punch it, he misses it because it goes past his hand off the head of Tielemans. The ball stopped almost for a moment as it goes in the back of the net. 2 apiece, 90th minute, stoppage time to go. Do we see a winner? Do we go to extra time?
I don't know. Well, mine went straight to Japan versus Belgium in 2018 when Japan really played Belgium off the park for a good portion of that game. That comeback was a bit more stretched over the final 20 to 25 minutes of the game. But it's just 5 good minutes of football for Belgium. That's all it's been, and it's just been a capitulation from Senegal. I will say that I think Ismaila Sarr, one of the goal scorers, he's been brilliant. He feels Rudy Garcia's going in the book now, and he's still getting large in the face of Saïd Martinez. I do think that Ismaila Sarr wanted a foul, and actually when you look at the replay, Tielemans, he clearly does shove him in the back before going up for that header, because I was looking to see how Tielemans, won that header initially. He didn't really leap particularly high. They haven't got it, and as I've been saying in every commentary I've been doing, I think the refereeing has been fairly consistent in the sense that they have clearly taken a step back and wanted to be more lenient. I do think in plenty of other tournaments around the world, you could have seen that goal chalked off.
100%. I agree with that. And Senegal, they're not through either. You have to say, with the amount of players that Belgium have thrown on, Senegal could get a counter-attack. Back to Courtois. He whiffs and slices the clearance wide. It's out for a throw-in. We're into stoppage time. 7 minutes of stoppage time. You'd have to say it's credit to Senegal because they've almost gone, yeah, you've got momentum, but we're still going to come forward. I think there could be a goal in this. I mean, what I would say is because it's not a... If we do go to extra time, 7 minutes of stoppage time, as I say, great touch from Diate on the right hand side, plays it forward for Sarr, too much on it, he's not going to get there, rolled down to Courtois. At the moment, we're going into a stoppage time at the moment with momentum. Belgium got 2 late goals. We're not going in at 0-0 and you go, oh, do we need another half an hour of this? I don't think either team feel confident. It's almost, penalty shootouts could come, it's almost a shootout. What hold-up play that is from Lukaku. Still comes away with the ball, he still has it, pokes it to the right hand side, Tielemans, heavy touch, ball back into the box, it's cleared out for a corner. If they come back and win this Belgium in the 90, my word, scenes in Seattle, corner to come. Senegal are on the back foot. What a moment this would be, corner to come for Belgium.
Yeah, it was Lukaku, that man again. He's maybe a little bit too much on the pass to Tielemans, and he can't quite get it under control, but he's just come alive in these last 10 minutes from Lukaku. He's dropping deep, he's linking the play. It's exactly what Belgium were calling for in the first half, and it took him a little bit of time to get going, but boy, has he burst into life.
Corner comes in, it's headed away, falls on the edge of the area. Mounier goes for a sliced effort back into a dangerous area. Belgium will keep a hold of it. Tielemans on the right hand side swings one into the box. Keeper comes to claim. This time he does. He wants to get it going quickly. That might be a foul on the goalkeeper. And if I'm honest, it probably should be a yellow card, if I'm being bluntly honest, because he knows, don't know what Belgian player it is, but he knows what he's doing by getting in the way of the goalkeeper, and it does stop a counter-attack. He's already yellow carded Michele as well. I think he's lucky not to be sent off there with a second yellow card.
Yeah, he had a couple of goes at him there. It was very deliberate. But, I mean, that was a foul, but you do feel that Senegal just a little bit rattled here. They've been so calm and composed all game. Even, I think back to 5 minutes ago, before the second goal went in Mbaye. It was the first time, really, that a Senegal player had got themselves in a goal-scoring opportunity and really snatched it. He blazed it over. They had real composure for the first 85 minutes of this game, and then all of a sudden, Belgium just turning it on with a little bit of football, nothing more than that. I wouldn't say they've been absolutely world-beating. It's just getting those dangerous balls in, having a presence in the centre of the pitch, and all of a sudden Senegal just can't deal with it.
No, they can't. They do play a long ball here, Senegal, and it's one of them where I think actually I'd love another 30 minutes of this. So as a neutral watching it, I'd love to see this just finishes 2-2, reset, go for it again, and see two teams want to not go to penalties. As I said, although it's a penalty shootout, possibly awaiting as this is a shootout for the game. Great hold up play again by Lukaku, dressing on it to the left hand side, cleared away. But it's what you spoke about as well, Charlie, about Lukaku, is he hasn't had a great second half. It's actually not being on him. Whenever the ball's come into him, he's held it up well, he's played it off. It's that they just haven't got it to him enough. That's been more of the problem, because especially the last 10 minutes, every time it's gone into the Napoli man, the defence of Senegal have absolutely struggled, and they've got subs left. I know Koulibaly didn't play well, but I'm looking at a fresh Koulibaly, almost go, right, go man for man with him. But that would be a heavyweight tussle, it has to be said. But Senegal come forward, cut back inside on the left. Can they get a winner? Who knows? We've got just about 3 minutes left, maybe just under 3 minutes left of stoppage time. Well, if you have just joined us, you've missed a mega last 10 minutes or so. Senegal had a 2-0 lead. I want to just double check when the Lukaku goal was officially given, if you will.
86th minute.
86 minutes, so 2 goals in 3 minutes, give or take. With Tielemans' head, you'd have to say a mistake by Diaw in the Senegal goal. Regardless, myself and Charlie being treated in the last 10 minutes or so. We thought Senegal were done and dusted. We were saying, oh, what a game it would be if they played Bosnia. What a game it would be if they played the USA. Well, Belgium said, forget about that, lads. We want to make it to the round of 16, 2 apiece with 2 minutes to go. Senegal do have it in the Belgium final third. What a sucker punch it would be if they were to regain their lead and break Belgium hearts. Left-hand side, Jacobs into the feet of Pape Sarr, the Spurs midfielder. Of course, he's got a lot of competition coming his way when he gets back to London. Of course, with the signings of Mateus Fernandes from West Ham and the Tonali signing, looks like that's gone over the line this afternoon coming into the game. Good defending there at the back from Moriera. He's come on, he has done well, if I'm being honest. Ekate, it's cleared away by Moriera. Tuni Ekate now. Space for Senegal is coming up. Gana Gate. You would say as well, they've got a lot of experience to Senegal. They've got a lot of young players, a lot of young heads, but there is some experience out there still, of course. And Baye on the right-hand side. Let's take it past his man. Ganagate, he might unleash a strike. He does go for a strike. It's just wide of the mark, and it goes out for a goal kick. It felt like Senegal, it was almost basketball-less when you've got that 12 seconds left on a clock. It's the last shot of the game. You don't want to take that shot and allow the other team to have the opportunity. It felt like Senegal there were trying to go in, can we take it to the last minute and get a shot, whatever it is, create a chance so Belgium don't have too much time, because it feels like we are going to extra time now.
Yeah, I almost feel like they're now worried to play it around on the edge of the Belgian box in case they lose it, and Belgium come flooding forwards as they have done. It's interesting, the 2 players that got the goals, not renowned for their pace or even, just in general, their kind of their capacity, their lung capacity, their sort of endurance. But Belgium have really started to hit Senegal on the counter in a way that I think we thought the opposite was going to happen, where Belgium tried to stretch the game and Senegal would benefit, but it's actually Belgium in transition. They always were a good team in transition, but I'm more thinking about players like Moussa Dembele, Kevin De Bruyne, and then some of the pacier wingers they used to have like Carrasco. I think, for two breaks to be converted by Lukaku, an ageing Lukaku, and Yuri Tielemans, they've done very well.
Senegal, can they get one more chance? Down the left-hand side, ball into the box, too much on it. Moriera will let it run out of play, I think, for a throw-in. I know he will try to put Loyal, does let it run out for a throw-in. Or, as the referee's blown his whistle, we've played 7 minutes of stoppage time, and we will be going for an extra 30 at the minimum. What a comeback from Belgium, the Red Devils. 2-0 down, 86 minutes into the game, second best by far, but goals from the ever-experienced and reliable Lukaku and Tielemans means it is 2-2 in after 90 minutes in Seattle. We're going to an extra 30. Join us shortly for extra time.
Well, what a match of football we are being treated to here, and there's going to be another half an hour of it at the very least after a fantastic, unexpected, to be honest, late comeback from Belgium. It had been all Senegal for pretty much the entire game, and Ismaïla Sarr, after a very strong centre-forward performance in the first half, repeated the dose in the second and went one further with an absolutely gorgeous goal. It was a crossfield pass from Niakate, the centre-back. He touched it down with his chest, and then falling backwards managed to volley it into the top corner. Proper striker's finish from a man who's not really a striker, don't forget. And then it was just continued dominance from Senegal onwards, really. There was loads of substitutions made by Rudy Garcia, and it just felt like they weren't really working. He took big hitters off De Bruyne and Doku, and you felt that it was brave, but maybe a little bit foolish, but no, it worked out. Lukaku was really linking the play well, and he managed to get a goal himself. And then Yuri Tielemans, the captain, who'd had a stinker of a game up to that point, headed in a good cross from Leandro Trossard. Senegal looked completely rattled, and it is all square at 2-2. We're going into extra time. Well, what a match of football we are being treated to here, and there's going to be another half an hour of it at the very least after a fantastic, unexpected, to be honest, late comeback from Belgium. It had been all Senegal for pretty much the entire game, and Ismaïla Sarr, after a very strong centre-forward performance in the first half, repeated the dose in the second and went one further with an absolutely gorgeous goal. It was a crossfield pass from Niakate, the centre-back. He touched it down with his chest, and then falling backwards managed to volley it into the top corner. Proper striker's finish from a man who's not really a striker, don't forget. And then it was just continued dominance from Senegal onwards, really. There was loads of substitutions made by Rudy Garcia, and it just felt like they weren't really working. He took big hitters off De Bruyne and Doku, and you felt that it was brave, but maybe a little bit foolish, but no, it worked out. Lukaku was really linking the play well, and he managed to get a goal himself. And then Yuri Tielemans, the captain, who'd had a stinker of a game up to that point, headed in a good cross from Leandro Trossard. Senegal looked completely rattled, and it is all square at 2-2. We're going into extra time. Well, what a match of football we are being treated to here, and there's going to be another half an hour of it at the very least after a fantastic, unexpected, to be honest, late comeback from Belgium. It had been all Senegal for pretty much the entire game, and Ismaila Sarr, after a very strong centre-forward performance in the first half, repeated the dose in the second and went one further with it. Absolutely very warm welcome back to this barnstormer of a last 32 clash between Belgium and Senegal. We thought it was going to be all over, to be honest, and we'd be facing a 2-hour break between this and the Bosnia-America game, which we will be covering for you on this service as well, an official off-tube studio commentary. But Belgium unexpectedly pulled it back to 2-2 through their main men Lukaku and Tielemans, but it's Senegal have started both halves so far the much better team, and they're on the front foot again in this first half of extra time. It's a very warm welcome back to any listeners, and if you're just joining us, then you've missed a fantastic game of football so far. It's myself and Lewis Raftery on this one. Lewis, can you believe what you've seen?
Not really. If you'd have said to us, 80 minutes on the clock, it's going to finish 2-2 with goals from Lukaku and Tielemans, I wouldn't have been shocked, if I'm honest, for Belgium to get a goal, because they were applying pressure. But the 2 goals in 2 minutes, and the first one was classic Lukaku, right place, right time. I will say, I thought Senegal were making 2 changes. They just haven't made them yet. I saw Nicholas Jackson coming on, and we definitely saw the confirmation of them. They are still on the sidelines. I was waiting to see if a sub has been made for full confirmation, so we'll bring you that as soon as we can. But yeah, credit to Belgium, and to a degree, negatively, even if they go out, I've got to give them so much credit for the fight back in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's something we've seen them do in the past. I mentioned that famous 3-2 win over Japan in normal time, but they weren't quite able to get it over the line on this occasion. Again, though, with Nicholas Jackson to come on, it really speaks to what we were saying beforehand about the quality that Senegal have to bring off the bench. And of course, they only used 3 substitutions in normal time, so they've got 3 more to use if they want to. Belgium, they only have their extra time substitution, if you like, to call on, and it feels like the cupboard's bare. Maybe they've brought so many people on, and with no offence to the players who've come on, because they've all done really well. I think the calibre of player compared to what they were substituting off, I think you'd see much less of a disparity if Senegal are to make changes. The ball's knocked long for Belgium, but the right back Diatta manages to get in between Castagna and the ball, goes down. Castagna says it was a little bit easily, but it matters not, because the free kick goes to Senegal. And we will see these changes then, and one of them is Nicholas Jackson, and it's the main man, Sadio Mane, making way. Be interesting to see who out of Jackson or Ismaila Sarr takes up that number 9 position. Both of them very equally capable in any sort of position in a front 3, but you might see Sarr drift wide, despite the fact that he's been really, really good as a striker in this game. Was maybe beaten a little easily in the Tielemans goal, but as we mentioned, I think he believes that he got a push in the back, and it's Jacobs, the other man to go off, who, I mean, to a man, Senegal have been strong really, but he is the man to make way after a good game, and the man brought on in his stead will be,
looks like maybe Malik Diouf. I want to say I saw number 25 on that one.
That will be the one. Malik Diouf, who is a defender for West Ham, of course. So that'll probably be a straight swap. It's back with Dior in the Senegal goal, who, again, I would say hasn't necessarily done a whole lot wrong to see his side fall back to parity with Belgium. 2 good finishes really from Tielemans and Lukaku. Inching forwards are Belgium now. Akele playing a 1-2, and it's Timothy Castagna down the left hand side, dispossessed well, and then the ball's won back by Moreira. But again, Castagna's been pulled up for a foul. I think he feels he's getting some unfair treatment, but relieves the pressure for Senegal so far. I mean, it's been a brilliant 90 minutes, but is it a little bit too much to ask for a thrilling extra time? Because we don't usually get those, do we?
Possibly, and I think the reason why I think I would rate Senegal's chances more is they're making their subs. They're going to make another one now. It's like, is it Ghana Gay who will be making way? Yeah, he's had a great game in midfield. Again, as you rightfully pointed out, there's not a bad player in green this afternoon in Seattle. They've all been absolutely fantastic, as it looks like. The armband will go to one of his teammates. Wait to see who's coming on. Dai will be coming on in his place. It's more that sometimes extra time. It's all, well, the substitution for Belgium worked because Lukaku scored. It's just more there's fresh legs, isn't there, for Senegal? I just feel that Lukaku has already played 45 minutes, and that's probably all he's got in him with his injury worries and stuff like that. All of the Belgian players have played at least half an hour plus. The Senegal players, they're coming on with a lot to prove. They want to. Sadio Mane's had a great game. They want to almost come on and keep his tournament alive, and they've got fresh legs. So it's a massive moment for them. Nicholas Jackson coming on as a backup forward. Malik Diouf, West Ham's left back, a Premier League left back. I know they got relegated, but he will get a move for sure. That's the depth they've got. I think the quality, if I'm perfectly honest, will come from Senegal because they've got fresher legs. Belgium have got quality, yes, but quality that's maybe a bit fatigued at this point.
Yeah, maybe you could liken it to sort of boxing match where one guy sort of hanging in there manages to find a late flurry to try and even things up, but then has he punched himself out by expending that energy? It was just a 5 or 10 minute burst from Belgium, but with some of the ageing legs in there, you feel like maybe that might have been a little bit too much for them as Thomas Meunier is brought down. It's been a foul-heavy 6.5 minutes to kick off this 30 minutes of extra time. We might see penalty shootout as well. How fun and dramatic they've been so far. The game's seen Germany, Paraguay, Germany finally losing a penalty shootout. And Netherlands, Morocco, that was quite farcical really. It was kind of neither team wanted to win it. But Morocco managed to get over the line. Ball pumped long from Dior. Ball's bouncing around. A couple of Belgian heads get to it first, but then it's launched forward by Senegal. That's a poor initial touch by the Belgian player Tiate, but he manages to get it back under control and out to the left-hand side with Castagna. One of the only sort of areas that hasn't changed is that centre-back partnership for Belgium in this game. Feels like everything else has been moved around at least 2 or 3 times. They finally settled on something that worked. And actually I was thinking in the break, Lewis, you know, we were really slating those substitutions as they were coming on. It seemed like he was out of ideas, Rudy Garcia, but maybe he deserves a little bit of credit for being proactive with them and, you know, being proactive with making 2 changes. It didn't work, so he brought someone else on, moved it all around again, and he did that at least twice, I think, and he finally settled on a winning formula.
Yeah, the one of them, it's the De Bruyne one. I still think De Bruyne should have stayed on the field. I couldn't say, and this is no offence to Raskin, I just don't, what Raskin's done, you're telling me De Bruyne couldn't have stayed on the field and done more with. Look, you would also say, well, Raskin dropped back and Tielemans was in the right place to head it, so that's where De Bruyne have been there. Okay, I do understand that, but De Bruyne could have just sat back a little bit more, ball into the box, too much on it for Belgium. The Luka Bacchio, I will give a lot of credit for that. I didn't see that one coming, especially with Doku coming off. You rightfully pointed out, though, fitness is a problem, so is that something that you could have read beforehand? Vanaken, he didn't have a good game, really, did he? So you can understand why he was substituted off. So I don't blame him for the changes in Senegal. And a free kick just outside their area. As you rightfully pointed out, though, it's one of them, isn't it? Sometimes we do have a go at coaches for going too late and not saying to the players all the time. Rudy Garcia almost went, look, I'm giving my substitutions all the time, and even more, to get accustomed into the game and find the rhythm. So credit to him for that. It's one of them, isn't it? 85 minutes in, he's out of the job by the full-time whistle. If anything, he's on extended time because of his substitutes getting him out of it. But credit to him. Tielemans, hydration break. Tielemans and Trossard were almost at each other's throats. They've built from that and they've done fantastic.
Yeah, it never ever looked like it was going to be a turnaround, really. I think I was kind of already writing the eulogy for this Belgian team just on Raskin, because I think, yeah, he's not kind of jumped off the screen maybe, but I just wanted to see if we're thinking that maybe he made sense as a sort of a defensive player to allow Tielemans to push forward, but he's actually only made the one defensive contribution. It was a clearance, but going forward he's had 40 touches, 5 passes into the final third, one accurate cross and 2 accurate long balls with a 100% success rate in both of those. So actually he's done a more than decent job going forward for his side, but maybe slipped into the background slightly as others have taken the headlines. That's a nice ball attempted over to the left hand side, but it's cut out, and they'll try and come forward and ease some of this pressure with Mbaye. Well, Senegal is trying to cut through. Here's Pape Sarr. He's getting himself in a bit of a tangle with 3 Belgian players, including Yuri Tielemans, herring down on him, and it is Tielemans, the captain, who gets the intervention. Mounier, one of the substitutes made. Another one that I was not sure about the impact it could make, but he's been very solid so far. And Timothy Castagne has actually been a lot more involved in the game on that left-hand side for whatever reason. That's a really good ball played forward to Trossard. Tries to flick it back to Romelu Lukaku. It does seem like those two have got a little bit of chemistry going, but it's just slightly underdone there from Trossard as Lukaku came herring in. 100 minutes gone in this mouth-watering clash. Very warm welcome to you if you're just joining us. Belgium 2, Senegal 2. Look for all money, like it was going to be Senegal through, but the ball's gone into the box, and Tielemans and Lukaku, the 2 goal scorers, both just couldn't quite get on the end of it. If either one of them had managed to connect with that, it could have been a goal.
It could have been, and again, you just feel that, as you said, because it's almost that war of attrition now, isn't it, that you just feel, is the one team willing to take that chance, or a chance that falls for them, a counter-attack or anything like that? It's a good ball into, it's just a good ball into a good area almost, isn't it, to a degree? And again, Tielemans, he's reaching for it as Lukaku. Does Tielemans going for it put Lukaku off? Maybe that he slows down for a second because he's like, oh, my teammate's got it, oh no, I'm stretching for it. Lukaku knows better than us two. He knows that's a chance, and especially after he's already scored, he's looking for a brace, isn't he? And I mean, I think that maybe 94 goals for his national side. I want to say 93 coming into this game. So how important he's been for oh so long for the Red Devils, and coming up big and clutch once again. Again, I just feel, as you said, at the moment we're unfortunately in that phase of Senegal 2-0 up. They bring it back 2-2 Belgium. They've put so much into this game. Neither team now wants to go home, so it's being safe and sound, and maybe that look of penalty shoots out is already ringing in both teams' heads. It'd
be fascinating, as it always is, to see who makes it. Leandro Trossard has just played an absolutely awful ball, put his team in all sorts of pressure. Mbaye herring down on goal. He is dispossessed. It's still with Senegal. I think Trossard, I don't even know what he was attempting there. There was no one anywhere near Mbaye that he could have been trying to pass to. I think maybe he just assumed that Castagne would be making a run down the left hand side, or maybe he got a little bit mixed up with some of the animated advertising we see on the boards. We have seen that happen once or twice in recent matches, but it has allowed the most extended piece of Senegal possession for some time, really, maybe before the 2 goals went in. Working it over to the right hand side, and then Mbaye, the man who initially snatched it off Trossard. It does look like even Senegal, who've played so free-flowing and attacking, are maybe thinking towards penalties. Who can they bring on, if anyone? Who will take them? Could Kalidou Koulibaly come on and take a penalty? I feel like he might have one of those lethal centre-backs shots on him, perhaps. You think about Belgium, the players they've taken off, surely they would have been in line to take one. So it's really interesting. It's always one of the most fascinating things for me about penalties is that, you know, 3 or 4 of your main men have often gone off by that time, and then you're left looking around thinking, who on earth is going to take these?
Well, it's also as well is you've had 120 minutes in the legs, haven't you, for a lot of the players. As they're watching back that terrible pass, for a Senegal, it's a beautiful pass to him by him, but it's terrible. I say, was the green of Senegal blending into the field? I don't know. Ball into the box, and Akate has to deal with it. But you're right about the penalties. You look at some players who've come on. I would look at Nicholas Jackson, for example, Pape Sarr. Yes, but you are right. So here come Belgium with a shot that's blocked away. Most of your players are either knackered or off the field.
Yeah, but one of them is not, and it's Raskin, and he shoots. And that ball, I think it was a shot, but it ended up being a ball into a dangerous area. And Leandro Trossard maybe struggling with a little bit of cramp there as he's gone down, but he was stretching out that right boot, trying desperately to get on the end of it. It's a lovely little feint in the build-up by Trossard as he tried to cut in and shoot, but it was deflected. And then Raskin's effort, his first shot of the game, missed everyone really. It could have been Dangerous ball, yeah, Trossard. That right boot poked out. He was so close to getting on the end of that one.
I feel that if I'm honest, if he'd used his left foot, he would have had more leverage on it. I think with his left boot, he probably gets to it. Now, obviously, it's his weaker foot, and you want to go with your stronger foot, but the opportunity was there definitely to go with that with your left foot, just because he's got more time to stretch out with the ball coming through from the right-hand side. Just to get your studs on it, get anything on it. This 15 minutes, we're about to come to an end. I can imagine maybe a minute of added time, if that, in the first half of extra time. It's been a good game, but looks like again, as you said, rightfully so, penalties very much on the mind of both these sides.
Yeah, the energy's just been sapped. It was a mega first half, and actually we're going to see no added time at the first half of extra time, so we are going to take a very short break here, but it is still Belgium 2, Senegal 2, perhaps penalties looming. Half time in extra time between Belgium and Senegal. It's been an absolutely brilliant game. It does feel maybe like the energy is sapping out of this one and we're destined for penalties, but Belgium will be happy to take that. It looked like they were crashing out with 5 minutes left of normal time, but goals from Lukaku and Tielemans in the 86th and 89th minute have kept them in it, and there's 15 minutes of this one to go. 2-2. Half time in extra time between Belgium and Senegal. It's been an absolutely brilliant game. It does feel maybe like the energy is sapping out of this one and we're destined for penalties, but Belgium will be happy to take that. It looked like they were crashing out with 5 minutes left of normal time, but goals from Lukaku and Tielemans in the 86th and 89th minute have kept them in it, and there's 15 minutes of this one to go. 2-2. Half time in extra time between Belgium and Senegal. It's been an absolutely brilliant game. It does feel maybe like the energy is sapping out of this one and we're destined for penalties, but Belgium will be happy to take that. It looked like they were crashing out with 5 minutes left of normal time, but goals from Lukaku and Tielemans in the 86th and 89th minute have kept them in it, and there's 15 minutes of this one to go. 2-2. Half time in extra time between Belgium and Senegal. It's been an absolutely brilliant game. It does feel maybe like the energy is sapping out of this one and we're destined for penalties, but Belgium will be happy to take that. It looked like they were crashing out with 5 minutes left of normal time, but goals from Lukaku and Tielemans in the 86th and 89th minute have kept them in it, and there's 15 minutes of this one to go. 2-2. Half time in extra time between Belgium and Senegal. It's been an absolutely brilliant game. It does feel maybe like the energy is sapping out of this one and we're destined for penalties, but Belgium will be happy to take that.
And there is a warm welcome back to second half coverage of extra time from Seattle Lumen Field, the Seattle Stadium, however you'd like to call it, during this World Cup. It's unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary. Another 15 minutes bound in the round of 32. Senegal 2, Belgium 2. Well, if you'd have told us half an hour ago we'd be sat here, we'd have called you a liar, but you must be doing well predicting the future. It's Belgium 2, Senegal 2, as I say. Senegal had a 2-0 lead all the way up to the 85th minute, and they were far the better side. First half goal from Diarra, followed up by a great volley, half volley, I should say, from Ismaila Sarr just in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. The 2 goals in give or take 3 minutes for Rudy Garcia's Red Devils. First from ever reliable 90-plus goals for his side, Romelu Lukaku, the Napoli man, right place, right time as ever. And then Tielemans after a ball into the box. Great ball from Trossard, don't take anything away from that. Diao tried to come out the Senegal goalkeeper, completely missed it. Tielemans, well, he headed it, but more off of his head and into the back of the net. First half of stoppage of extra time. Not too much to really ring home. These are 2 tired sides, and 2 sides have made a lot of subs and trying to find their rhythm in the game still. But here come Belgium on the right hand side. Ball into the box. Header goes up and header goes wide from Raskin. I know he's not the tallest of figures. He's the number 23 for Belgium. As I say about tall figures, looks like Andre Onana. Amadou Onana, don't call me Andre, I should say.
He doesn't like that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I just completely got it wrong. Amadou, don't call me Andre Onana. He might have a go at me like he had a go at that journalist. Was it last summer? For the Aston Villa man. They've made 5 substitutions. That's usually all, of course, for Belgium. But, of course, you get an extra one in extra time. Senegal have, I was just having a look there, they have made all 6, I do believe, have the African side. So there, with what they haven't, as we spoke about, Charlie, sometimes looking at penalties. Well, first of all, Onana comes on, he's a great player, first and foremost, but he's about 6'4", maybe 6'5", is there? The Aston Villa man brings a physicality and height into the team, but I can imagine you're bringing on someone who can take a penalty with not being like, oh, I'm going to take a defender off for a striker, I'm not doing this. You're bringing someone on who's going to be in midfield, get involved in this second half extra time, but also does add a confident penalty option as well.
Yeah, I'm going to do Onana. I mean, I'm going purely off vibes here and not stats, but he does look like a man who'd be able to strike a penalty. You know, he's a cool, calm, composed midfielder, but also incredibly powerful. So just off my thoughts alone, I would say that he could take a good penalty, but I'm not entirely sure.
He seems a very confident individual. He just gives off the thing, doesn't he? He knows where he's about. He's confident in his play. He glides around as if he's not 6'4". He's a fantastic midfielder. I think when Aston Villa got him, there were a lot of envious teams, not just in the Premier League. Senegal have it on the right-hand side, and Mbaye yet to really make an impact since coming on that right-hand side for Ndiaye. Again, maybe they weren't expecting an extra time for him to have to play. Diatte on the right side. Oh, it's a lovely overlapping pass, an overlapping run. Forward they come with Ndiaye, ball into the box, stab at goal, and it goes wide. Mbaye was in the box there, Nicholas Jackson as well. Well, it's Mbaye, the man who had the chance to give Senegal the lead back once again. What an overlapping run from Bara Ndiaye, the 22 on his back, into Mbaye. That should be 3-2.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it in the interval between us, but we were saying about how to a man this Senegal team have been great, and where's the weak link, but you do feel that Mbaye, since he came on, he's had a couple of good opportunities and he's wasted them as Onana does come on. It's for Trossard. I would for sure think he would have been taking a penalty.
So he's had a great game as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, and I think you're right. Trossard for me, well, probably one of the first penalty takers, wasn't you? But you rightfully pointed out about penalties that maybe there's a degree of, you don't want to bring someone on in the first kick from a penalty, but Trossard has played maybe nearly every minute of this tournament for Belgium. He's had a long game here. He's had also just thinking there's a lot of weight in those legs. We're going to bring someone on for you, and also bringing a defensive mind on to maybe even just make sure we get to penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just trying to scramble for any information about penalty takers for Belgium specifically. They don't have anyone in the squad who scored a World Cup penalty, so the pressure that they're going to be under will be quite remarkable. I imagine that's from open play, to be fair, rather than shootouts. I know Romelu Lukaku does have a good penalty record for Belgium, but I do think, just looking at those players, De Bruyne would have taken one. Obviously he's long gone. I think Trossard would have taken one. Catalari maybe. So many players have made way who you would think would have been in that first 5, but such is football, and such is, long form knockout football. It's so testing on the body and the mind. 110 minutes gone of this one, and they're still not done yet. And then they might have the prospect of the most terrifying thing you could possibly hope to do in a World Cup.
You're spot on with that one. You're not missing anything. Just pause and play. Diatte and I believe it is Moriera went up for a header. It is the Strasbourg man who's come off the worst, and there was a worry for a moment he might have to go off. He will, of course. He's already been had a look at by the physios on the field of play. Can imagine he's going off as well. Of course, they've made all the 6 substitutions, but because it's concussion, possibly they would be able to make that change as a concussion change, if I am right there, if they needed to. Moriera is off the field for now, so they are at 10 minutes away from those penalty kicks. You do look at the bench. They've already used 6 substitutions. Maybe an Axel Witsel could come on, possibly for Moriera. I'm not too sure on that one. Ball forward, cleared away off the backside of Luca Bacchio, and out of play for a throw-in for Senegal deep in their own corner flag on the left-hand side. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary at the moment. Looks like we're less than 10 minutes to go. We might be off for a penalty shootout. It's Belgium 2, Senegal 2. You feel that Senegal would feel so underwhelmed now if they don't take this win, regardless if it's from penalties or in stoppage time, but Belgium really took it to them. If this was, as you said, Charlie, if this was a boxing fight on points, Senegal would definitely have won this. They'd have won the rounds clearly, but puncher's chance for everyone. Here comes Senegal, though, down the left-hand side. Lovely piece of play. Can they find the option? Ball back in for Nicholas Jackson, but it's poked away well. By the back by Mounier, clears it away. Well, it's not a good clearance, only as far as Sa. Goes back to Bada Njai. He's going to go open up for a strike. It's straight to Courtois. It was one of them where, you know what, he's got a lot of power behind that. It's one of them as well you almost see, because he's got that much power. Look, Courtois is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is a Real Madrid shot stopper. But how many times have you seen a powerful strike like that that just bobbles before it hits the goalie, rebound off of him, and then someone's following up? Sal was following up, Jackson was following up. It was almost one of them of, I'm going to take this shot and maybe it rebounds off, but save from Courtois, which you'd expect. But that's Senegal just showing, look, we're not out of this game, we could still win it in stoppage time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's really nice interplay actually between Senegal, the kind that they were peeling off for the whole first 80 minutes of this game, but it all of a sudden dried up. They're still undoubtedly playing the better football over the course of these 112 minutes. But Belgium, it's just moments really more than anything. They just pick their moments, and maybe you start thinking that Senegal should have had Belgium more out of sight, and that they've missed a trick by not being 3 or 4 goals to the good. The way they sat back after they scored the first goal and then did it again after the second. You know, Belgium were really there for the taking. Players were fighting on the pitch. It feels like it should have never got to this point.
Jackson coming forward, lovely feet from the former Chelsea man, ball into the box, and he's cleared away out for a corner for Senegal. I say former Chelsea man, but I haven't taken advantage of whatever clause they had, so I do believe he's off back to Stamford Bridge as far as I do know, so I should really say the former Bayern loanee more than anything. But corner coming up for Senegal. But you do have the likes of Lukaku and Onana defending, you have to say, but you do have, you can't take Sis. Jackson coming on will be more of an aerial threat, you'd have to say. It will be Malik Diouf to swing this one in the second half of extra time. Senegal going from left to right, the usual green, right to left for Belgium, as you said, Charlie, and still a lovely kit, but the one that's out there for sure. Definitely would, if you're on the streets, you would definitely probably ask someone what's that all about. So it will be an in-swinger from the near side. It's a decent delivery, heads go up. I do believe it is Onana who gets there, nods it back to his goalie in Courtois. There's a few Belgian players on the bikes, but Courtois will slow it down. I think that's that experience as well there of a Courtois that, look, yeah, we could get a counter, but what if Senegal, what if I don't pinpoint it to you and Senegal get us back on the ball? Tielemans will ping it out to Luca Bacchio, too much on it. Right idea, and for a player of his quality, poor execution from the man with the armband on, Yuri Tielemans. 5 minutes of 120 to go, 5 minutes of the 30 minutes of stoppage time to go. De Bruyne, he's watching on, he's hoping that his teammates can do the business and keep his World Cups alive. Team for Sadio Mane on the bench. How many classics have they had in the Premier League for Manchester City and Liverpool? And now they're watching the younger stars with fresher legs, if you will. What can they do to keep their country's hopes alive? As Charlie's already mentioned, the winner of this will face the winner of the USA-Bosnia game, which myself and Charlie will be covering at 1 a.m. at UK time. For about an hour and a half, give or take, just under that, until we will be kicking off in that game. San Francisco. This is the home of the Seahawks. That's the home of the 49ers. The home of the 49ers where the Seahawks did win the Super Bowl. So a bit of connection between the two stadiums and sides. If you're Moriera, who's back on the field now for a few minutes after that concussion problem, ball into the box, but Lukaku tries to get there and he's just kind of swinging his leg at that hope and get anything on it. He gets a thumbs up for his man Moriera. Again, once again, and I think if everyone will think myself and Charlie hate the Ketelare, but that's just Lukaku just sniffing out a chance. That movement is brilliant from him there. That's what, and again, it's his fitness, Lukaku, more than anything. But you feel if he was on from minute 1, Belgium might have had a bit more luck in the first half.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he could play 120 minutes of football, in fairness, and you do want him in this penalty situation, and maybe having him as an impact sub. I do think we're seeing more of a trend in football in general, but certainly at tournaments, to actually, just because someone comes off the bench and does well, it doesn't necessarily mean they should be in the starting lineup for the next game. Maybe there's certain reasons, their attributes, skill sets, how they fare against tired legs, that actually makes them a better option at substitute than a starter.
From Belgium, ball into the boxes for everyone. Falls for Luca Bacchio off the post. Senegal get away with one there. Castagne's asking for something. Don't know if Belgium want a corner, want a foul, want a penalty. I don't know. What a ball into the box. I thought it gone through absolutely everyone. Then the 14, Luca Bacchio. Great play from Onana. Then down the left-hand side, Moriera fizzes one into the box. They want a penalty, it looks like. But I will say, I think is it Tielemans who goes down. He goes down wanting a penalty, then he gets right back up 2 seconds later. So I think he's looking for one there, if I'm honest. Luca Bacchio might even take a slight deflection off the Akati. I'm not too sure. It comes off the upper side of the bar. What a moment that would have been for Belgium if they would have won that and taken the lead in such dramatic fashion. I mean, the comeback of all comebacks is exactly what that would have been right there. He's on his weaker right peg. He kind of just gets underneath it, unfortunately. Looking back at the Tielemans one, I think that's really harsh if you're even asking for a penalty there. It looks like more of just they're both going for the ball and a collision between the two. But Luca Bacchio, should he be doing better there, or was it just he did the best with what he had?
I think, in fairness to him, it was a really hard ball to kind of get full control of, because there was a horrible bobble on it. Even after he took a pretty decent first touch, it was just kind of bobbling up and down. We are looking at VAR check for a possible penalty. The referee doesn't look too interested so far. I agree with you. I think it would be harsh. I think in the context, he's getting all the players to move away from him as the referee. I think in the context of this tournament, it would be incredibly harsh, but there is contact foot to foot and no contact with the ball, but it almost felt like it had already gone past Tielemans, and Tielemans had stuck a leg out in an attempt to get the ball. He'd missed the ball, and then with that left leg that he'd stuck out, then made contact with the Senegal defender. It would be harsh, but it could be given.
I think you're right. It's one of them as well. The longer we see possible penalty and more replays, the more I think it's just one of them, isn't it? The more you think they might give it. I will say, as you said, the referee's saying for players to get away from him. I think that they're still around him. I think you should be able to hand out yellow cards and say, if you're not going to get away, here's a yellow card. Stay around here, you'll get a second one. Because they're all chatting to him, and the referee is saying, I can't hear what the VAR is saying to me. I'm not saying it's a penalty or not. Go argue amongst yourselves over in the corner. As the referee, he's put the sign up, so he's going to go look at the monitor, and I don't want to say that definitely means it's going to be a penalty, but just from history, it means whatever was given on the field, for example, no penalty. The VAR comes up, it usually means it gets overturned. I think it would be harsh, but as you said, Charlie, I don't think it's a penalty, but I wouldn't argue also if you did think it was.
It's one of those where it's like the more you look at it, the more it does look like a penalty, and actually I think he kind of hits the trailing leg of Tielemans before that initial contact that we saw. The VAR have done well to take their time and pick out the best angle. Maybe if you were a Senegal fan, you'd say it's the most damning angle, but it's a kind of aerial bird's eye view shot, and we can see the full contact being made, and it does seem like it's kind of on his back foot behind the ball. No suggestion of contact being made with the ball by either player. I do think it probably will be a penalty at this point.
Yeah, the more you watch it, my thinking would be, all I will say is his left foot's not getting to the ball, watching back. His right foot, he doesn't stop his right foot from getting there. And does that mean he doesn't make contact? No, I just personally think he doesn't stop Tielemans from getting to the ball. Now, is there a bit of contact? Maybe. I just think, again, and as well, when the referee, if VAR is fair that, I feel if you have to watch, I counted that about 9 replays.
Yeah.
If you have to watch 9 replays, I just think you've got to go, right, I didn't give a penalty on the field. I'm not going to give a penalty now, because it's just too much. The referee has made a decision.
Is it clear and obvious?
Yes, you're spot on with that. It is unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary. So the referee's going to quickly have a word with the stadium, in attendance at Seattle. We're just going to wait to see the reactions of the players and where it points. What a moment this is in the game. Unless you're a good lip reader, Charlie, I know I'm not. So we're just waiting to see what his whistle is. Will it be that Senegal give fist bumps in the air, or Belgium do it. Well, the hands on the head from Diouf will mean, I assume, the referee has given the penalty. It took about, as I said, double-digit replays. I think that, to me, is where the problem is that if you can't watch it within 1 or 2 replays, this is anything VAR, there's a problem there. But from 2-0 down, 86 minutes on the clock, to 2-all, 121 minutes on the clock, Belgium have a penalty. We're bound for a penalty shootout at the moment. It might be a penalty shootout that Belgium sends them through to the next round. What drama this game has been.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. To be honest, I almost want a penalty shootout here. Maybe one last twist in the tail where this is missed, but I imagine it'll be Romelu Lukaku standing up to it, either him or Tielemans, either of the goal scorers. But what a moment. We've still not got confirmation on our TV pictures of how much added time there is in extra time. Second half, we haven't really been playing for at least 3 minutes. The referee and the VAR did take a long time over that. They've kind of sped it up really compared to what we're used to in the Premier League. But that was one where I think they decided that the situation required a real long, hard think. And I do think, I don't know, it's a valid argument to say that if you have to, someone stood. One of the Senegal players is like leaning over the penalty spot. Is this some kind of protest? Where he's not going to.
Have they taken a knock or push? Have they gone down? As you say, they've just been like, right, you're not putting the ball over the spot until. I think the referee's got a problem of losing this game, if I'm honest. Losing control of the players at the moment, if I'm perfectly honest, just because it's Cisse who is down, the centre back. Ismail Sis. He's down basically, as Charlie said, hunched over the penalty spot. We haven't seen a replay. We were seeing replays of the penalty. So we don't know if he's taken a whack, has he gone down, has he been pushed, we're not too sure. The Senegal, he's still over there, Belgium aren't happy, and I can imagine if you haven't seen maybe what's happened, you know, what's going on here, we're yet to see a replay of it. It's Raskin who had a hold of the ball, as you said, the picture's pointed to Lukaku, as you rightly said, probably watching a replay. Sissy's there with Moriera. He pulls and he has a bit of a push on his hair. Then Moriera gives him an elbow, and there's about a 5-6 second delay on him going down. Now he does actually kind of catch him with an elbow in the sternum. I won't say it doesn't, but it's a delayed reaction at best.
He elbows him. He sees the elbow go in. He looks up,
the referee
gestures to the referee, and then as he's doing it, he keels over as if he's dying. Obviously, we know that Senegal have some previous in recent times of not being very happy with penalty decisions and making it known on the pitch or even off the pitch, I suppose. But they have conceded a penalty. That's the end of that. We still don't know how much added time there's supposed to be. Will there be any? When did the referee initially blow the whistle for the VAR check? It feels like an age ago now. Based on the TV pictures we're looking at, it looks like it's going to be Lukaku to take.
Last 5 penalties for club and country, scored 4, missed 1, and as you said on the pitch, I think you're probably looking at Tielemans or Lukaku. They would be your options. You're probably saying the number 9 Lukaku is the man to be, and you would say, well, if he scores he wins, and maybe another 2 or 3 minutes added on, as you say. If he doesn't, as then we see Edouard Mendy, of course, is on the bench, he's injured. If he misses, as Tielemans, he's going to put the ball down, so it's going to be the skipper, the man who scored the equaliser. If he misses, well, my word, that sends us maybe into the penalty shootout with Belgium having a penalty missed or saved. So it will be Yerry Tielemans. He steps up to take it, and he slots it in the top corner. Cool, calm and collected. You wouldn't think that's your country's World Cup on the line. He scored the equaliser. He scored the winner, it looks like, as well for Belgium. What a penalty that is. Senegalese hearts are broken. 125 minutes on the clock. We might have a few minutes to play. Belgium 2-0 down, 86 minutes on the clock. Give them some stoppage time. Give them some extra time. They lead 3-2. Well, Rudy Garcia, as I said, was out of the job 85 minutes into this game. As it stands, Yerry Tielemans' brace will send them into the next round. We'll keep Rudy Garcia in the dugout. It's Belgium 3, Senegal 2.
Unbelievable stuff. We talked about how hard of a game Yerry Tielemans was having, especially in the first half. He's been run ragged by the energetic Senegal midfield, but he's come up clutch as captain. He's the kind of player that you want in those big moments, and he got the equaliser, and then he won the foul himself. I actually maybe was slightly obvious looking back that he was going to take it, because we did see shortly after the penalty was awarded, we saw he had his head in his hands. He looked like a nervous wreck, Tielemans, but he's managed to compose himself, and it's just a perfect penalty. Just stroked it into the top corner, easy as you like. And Yerry Tielemans, he's put his country on his back, and it looks like sending them through to the last 16 of the World Cup.
15th goal for his national side. Of course, 14 and 15 coming in this game. Senegal are coming forward, as Charlie rightfully said. So we've played 126 minutes. We're into the 127th minute. Just over 6 minutes, if you will, of stoppage time. But we haven't been given an official number for what stoppage time is by the broadcasters. We're trying to scamper and look at any scoring apps that we do use. As the ball comes outside the area, strike comes in from Senegal, goes well wide of the goal into Rosette, possibly there. That might be the last chance, because again, myself and Charlie, we have no idea. That could be it from a good goal kick. It could be over. We could be in for over 2 or 3 minutes where Senegal look to push forward. It will be a goal kick for Thibaut Courtois. All eyes basically are on side Martinez, the Honduras official, of how long's left in this game. What a game we've had. What an ending we've had here. Senegal, could they come forward one more time? Great play down the left-hand side. That should be a free kick. No, it's not. They're going to give the throw in. Onana, the long legs of the Belgian midfielder. Amadou Onana getting that ball for his side. It's a cool kind of penalty. It's one of them as well. It hits the side netting, doesn't it? So that's one of them that I feel for Diao. He's gone the wrong way, but that's probably one of them that even if he goes the right way, I don't think he saves that. It's a superb penalty.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It was interesting looking at Lukaku's as well. They all went low, and it maybe seemed like he's evolved into one of those techniques where you wait to see where the goalkeeper went, because a couple of the ones he'd scored weren't really in good areas. Maybe that's not what you want when you just need to stick it in the back of the net last minute of a crucial World Cup game. You just need someone with good technique to step up and just put it somewhere where the goalkeeper can't reach.
Senegal have got one more chance. Again, still no confirmation on stoppage time, so we're flying without wings, if you will. We are just waiting for a full-time whistle. Senegal, seconds, minutes left. We don't have a clue. We are just winging it, if you will. We'll get one more chance. Senegal, they've just got to put it in the box.
4 minutes, apparently.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the broadcasters don't know that. at this moment in time. At the moment, we played 8.5 minutes of stoppage time. Of course, a lot of that was the wait for the penalty. And VAR, Senegal, they get to put a ball into the box. You've just got to get it in there. You've got bodies in there. Ball does come in. It's well cleared as well. Now Belgium, it's cleared into the path of Luka Bacchio. He will punt it long. Sissy's there to nod it down to Diate, who was pulled back by Moriera. Realistically, that should be a yellow card. I think the referee might just wave it away, but it will be a free kick. And again, I say this is last chance saloon, but we might have another 2 or 3 minutes to play. Who knows?
Yeah, I think, as you say, I think it might just be a problem with the TV pictures that we haven't got it up, but it does feel like maybe the officials have slightly lost control of this one. You know, we're 9 minutes into 4 minutes added time, and everything that happened in the lead up to the penalty got a little bit unsavoury. But what a match we've had.
It's been an absolute classic. The Congo game, the early kickoff was fantastic. This one's delivered. Well, hopefully it's free for free. Again, myself and Charlie will be back at 1 o'clock English time in the morning for that classic we hope for between one of the co-hosts of the tournament. Ball into the box, it's all the way through. Mbaye will keep a hold of it down the byline. Fizzes a cross in. Has that gone out though? Possibly for a corner. Don't believe so. Courtois held it well. He will take any seconds he can off the clock. Tielemans, everyone in a Belgium jersey looking to go, where's full time? Blow the whistle. We're close to 130 minutes of football. Ball is punted long up into the air. These players have given all the kind of collision there between the Senegal player and Tielemans. Moriera comes away with the ball, just trying to hold out for it now. Belgium, well, could they come and score a fourth? Ball poked forward for Lukaku. It's intercepted. Long ball forward to the left-hand side. Mbaye. Could there be even more late drama in Seattle? Ball into the edge of the area. Sis will go for a strike. Further out, strike will come in. Body's on the line for Belgium. And what's being given here by the referee? Is it a free kick right on the edge of the area for Senegal? My word, this game, I don't think this is in America, it's in Seattle. It's almost a movie script-esque, is this. You could write a movie about this game. Block comes in, it's off the arm of Raskin. If that's a few more inches, it's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a definite handball, there's no doubt about that, but it is well within the D. It's a good decision on the field by the ref. Into 131 minutes of this game now. I still don't really want it to end, to be honest, but it's been such a marathon for these players. I can only imagine what they're feeling, but it's been an absolute joy to watch, and it's flown by, to be honest. It's, you know, the length of most films, if not more. But it has, as you say, it's felt like a movie, to be honest.
What an opportunity this is. Belgium 2-0 down, out of the tournament, looking ahead for pre-seasons. Most of these players brought it back to 2-2 extra time. Tielemans a moment ago slotting away a penalty to make it 3-2. Diao is on the edge of the area, he might take it. Who knows? What a moment that would be if the goalkeeper scored to make it 3-3.
He's certainly getting involved in the tactics.
Yeah, the goalkeeper, no, take it like this. The goalkeeper telling strikers and midfielders how to strike a football. Pape Matar looks to be the man to take it. He takes it. It's well over. And you would have to think that should be full time. That should be the game done and dusted. And by Mounier's reaction behind Pape Matar, it looks like that is it. A classic in Seattle. Belgium 2-0 down with less than 5 minutes to go. But goals from the ever-reliable Lukaku and Tielemans sent us in a dramatic extra time, and even more drama was to be had. Penalty given, Tielemans won it, Tielemans took it, slotted it home, as it looked like Belgium were out on their feet 86 minutes in. But Senegal, credit to them, they were absolutely superb. But Belgium, they just had that dog in them, if you will. Thanks to a Tielemans brace and a Lukaku strike, it is Belgium who will be going through to the next round to face either the USA or Bosnia. Senegal, hearts broken. Belgium, they are through to the next round. Full time from Seattle. What a game. Belgium 3, Senegal 2.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.